lead and a wealth of utility in the back pockets of MIBR. 4 players on this B site lying in wait. It's the perfect CT setup if this is going to be the B hit. It's a fake out on A smoke being thrown. All a misdirection by Drop to hopefully pull rotations. It has made a Liege budge. The rest haven't. And Holzak being baited in with the dual Berettas, gets the opening kill, but his teammate falls, and now he's under pressure, and he's run down Brenson with the 3K. Still a player to deal with. Grim lets them know he is here, finding a little bit of time to allow Floppy to rotate. But in a 4-on-2, they can just go to A.
Yeah, it's that guy again. I mentioned him yesterday. I'm going to bring him up again. When Brenson is on it, he's the one finding all the impact, and he's even rotated towards A. Floppy can't do anything about this in towards mid. It will be a phenomenal clutch, but you just can't see it happening. He's now been noted in towards mid. No one needs to peek him from MIBR, and despite Floppy getting ahead of that donut smoke, knowing initially that MIBR weren't on A, where Holzak takes the contact immediately and gets the kill, MIBR were able to isolate those fights again and again and again.
Yeah, it's really nice, right? Out the gate, they want to hit B, but they add that extra bit of layering with the smoke over to A. It's obviously not going to bite everyone in complexity, but drawing one over is enough, right? Because then they can just go through cave. They know at most they're going to have that even fight, kind of 2-on-2. Dealing with the player that's baiting is the big part of that, right? Because then Holzak's alone.
It's also one of those things as well, where Elige has moved, that is subconsciously making you have a little peek in towards cave initially. Because if he's there, you just play your crossfires. You don't need to actually reposition whatsoever, but it's that just allure of trying to gather that little bit of info. But Brenton was immaculate.
Beautiful with the clock. So Insani to a similar clock round yesterday as well. Lining them up, knocking them down. Gonna be the 4th spy from complexity. Grim's a UMP enjoyer. Wouldn't catch me dead. But it does mean he can get a flashbang, so better make it worth it. Floppy on the FAMAS. That's not been dropped over, no. Holzak's just saving money. So lack of heady and lack of util could be an issue.
I think even on that pistol, you saw that Complexity had 4 players over towards B because they had the read. Desk spoke about tape, and it is 107 maps played in the last 3 months. That's a little bit awkward. But MIBR, they overwhelm anyway. Grim only finds 1 kill with that SMG.
Yeah, it's a kind of tough setup to be running when it can be completely undone by a single Molotov. I go for another bait setup in cave. But it collapses. You never want to be in a cave collapse. That's like my worst nightmare.
That is so graphic.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I already don't want
Slowly
to.
the air disappearing. No light, just darkness. Yourself all alone.
Please stop talking.
Sorry. Anyway, that's how that round felt for complexity. Darkness. But hey, FAMAS saved. And a Liege. Not going to get anything. So, hold that thought.
Yeah, if anything, it was not darkness, it was light. It was just burning them alive with the molly.
That's true.
Regardless, that's your force. Sure, Holzak saved some money, but that was, what, pistols, a FAMAS on Floppy, as you mentioned. This one now gets a little bit more tricky. It's a slow start for complexity. And they've been victims of this over the last sort of couple of months. It really feels like they take a while to warm into these games, and you feel like they can't really do that, especially in MR12. Floppy at least keeps his FAMAS. A hero FAMAS.
He's got head armor now, so, you know.
He won't die to the MAC 10.
He won't die to the MAC 10.
Or the Galil.
Galil, yeah. So, you know. Something. It might be putting a little bit more attention into middle, as Insani, as mentioned by the desk. And 4 CTs. Looking to pounce. JT has the flash to set over the play. When's the timing of it? Oh, well, actually, it's before they're even forward. They managed to get 2 kills. Save steps in. He's removed. Floppy did fall. That was your armored player. Elige still has some as well, but the pistols are getting it done. All the success in mid And all it took was one flashbang and just the right timings on the swings. It leaves it to exit in a 1v3.
There's the head-to-head. Elige on Insani is that opening kill. And then suddenly, it's not the FAMAS that gets any of the interactions. I don't think Floppy even did much damage. It was just... Well, he didn't. He's got a 0 ADR. It was just the pistols. It was just the USPs. And suddenly, Exit finds himself in a really difficult position. But... when it comes to Exit, he was the one providing significant outlet for MIBR against Alliance yesterday. He was top of the board in that first map on Inferno, but he's being wrapped by Elige. The walls are now starting to close in for MIBR. There is a pathway to Donut. He could potentially get the bomb down. That's a success in itself. And 2 of these players are low. It's not like it's a completely unwinnable 1-on-3.
Yeah, and Elige is the only one with armor. He does get the AK, and he's going to arrive in Donut in a pretty good timing. If Exit goes to the CT plant, which you imagine he will, should be allowed that. Elige might just throw the molly forward just to make it even harder. But Exit does get away. There's certainly a world where he can make this work. The 2 unarmored players line up. And now it's Elige, who, as mentioned, is low, and he threw that incendiary. So Exit knows exactly where he is. And it should be his, and it is. Exit clutches it out. Complexity almost steal that one away, but can't quite make it happen.
I wonder if that's a comms issue for Complexity, because Elige has dropped the molly forward to force Exit away into CT, and they are sprinting at him. They're trying to run him down, whereas if they just slow down a little bit, if they have the element of surprise and then they double swing, that should have been a guaranteed kill. Instead, it's not. Instead, it goes the other way, and what looks unattainable is now achieved by Exit.
That one stings. You feel like it was yours to walk in, but Exit finds the path. The mid-fight looking to recommence. Close on the smoke. JT's looking for one. Insani does catch Floppy. Elige is going to step in and get that kill back. So again, coming out best, but does get scathed as he tries to escape through red.
These spams have been so good. Look at JT, look at Elige. They're both walking wounded. And where they've had to readjust to try and get this mid-fight, it's pulled all the rotations off B. MIBR scale shelf. And they now put pressure on this site. And JT can't do anything apart from peek deep from long. Brenson's going to catch him on the timing, surely.
Oh,
Nearly.
yeah, tag on Exit. Not the headshot, now drop. Lets them know he's here to lock down red. Bomb still needs to get to B, but you can already see this is going to be a save from Complexity. Just got that up on Holzerk. He's yet to be able to fire it, and he will get a chance. Oh, you really want to hold on to this. Drop's just going to tease him. That felt fairly simple for MIBR.
Well, yeah, because all it was a fight in towards mid. Complexity even broke the smoke at Cheetah to try and scale and try and cut off MIBR, who was splitting mid from 2 different angles. But MIBR just ignored them. They just ran shelf and got the kill immediately on Floppy. And it was nice to see Floppy kind of take that advanced line with Elige. Because Evalicious was saying, look, Floppy's not happy with his individual performance. He puts himself in star roles, but at the same time, you don't want to overcompensate. You don't want to try and be that guy that is winning. Because sometimes that's where the mistakes will creep in more naturally. That round wasn't his fault. But I'm just saying, looking ahead to the future, that is something to watch out for.
MIBR be very happy with how the start has gone after a shaky-looking start to affairs here in Jönköping. As Evalicious mentioned, kind of made Alliance look good.
Yeah.
No offense to Alliance, but we're always a massive underdog in that series and almost took it to 3 maps.
At the same time, though, it's familiarity with your opponent, with Complexity in particular, but also just in the upper echelons of CS, because you're not going to know what Alliance are going to bring forward to the table.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets to crunch time, when it gets to be against the better opponents, I think this is where you're going to see MIBR do their best work. And if they get off to strong starts, and Complexity start to lose a little bit of belief, this could be troublesome.
This time around, they decide to keep Holzerk present in Donut. So he can lock off mid. And then can rotate to support Floppy if required. Alicia's on supportive duty, spotting out, dropping the deep smokes. MIBR looking to see if there is any of this aggression. The furthest posted player they've got is in the cubby on B. Mr. Exit.
Look at how passive this is from Complexity. Where that fight came in from mid last gun round. They're allowing MIBR all of this control. There's no extremity push. There's no take at all. They are just delaying with utility. And they can do this because there's only 45 seconds left.
Yeah, that's one thing about this slow round.
Oh, what?
Okay, that's just a spam through red. Unlucky for a leash. MIBR looking to capitalize on it. But the bomb on the back of drop peeks in towards middle. Does fall. Sunny will recover. Now you got this double layering. It's a 1-for-1. Still even, but Grim's alone. Grim needs the support. Running out of bullets. Actually has time for the reload behind default. And maybe he can do some more damage. A kill on the save. And the dink onto exit. Will it be enough? Polzak's here with the AWP. Smoked off. It fades. He's looking for this player. He's just planted the bomb. Waiting for the peek. And Sani not budging. Some bullets from Floppy make him feel uncomfortable, but he knows Polzak is present with the AWP. Doesn't want to give him that opportunity. Exit hits his shot. Polzak does have a kit. And Sani's not giving him anything. Scope in. And Sani's hearing that, waiting for the moment to strike. Exit to take first contact. No, and Sani just loops around and confirms the round.
That was a perfect way to play that after plant from MIBR. Exit, upgrade into the AWP, low HP. Insani knows with his life total, he can't swing. Even with that flash over at long, it's so dangerous for him to actually jiggle that angle because Polzak probably takes him down. So by him remaining, notice how he positions himself just behind the pillar, not in line with the wood paneling, so he can't get spammed. And then he relies a lot, trusts Exit to hit that shot. And from there, that gives him the room to sort of play the timing. As you mentioned, that was expertly done. Complexity don't get anything in that after plant.
If Grim had gotten the 2K, that would have been a very different round. Oh, drop. Almost caught by JT spams. Brought very low. And they have got the whole squad over at B. They push out through that smoke just to see kind of what the setup looks like. They don't overcommit. Brenton just has a little peek. Got the second volley ready to go. Although, only one smoke on Exit, who's actually not with the squad at all. Maybe just waiting to see if Complexity get curious. They have a double layering in Jaguar. The Molotov.
We've seen both.
Do you see both?
Yeah, 100%.
Locked in. Flashbang. Works. And Insani able to capitalize on both. He's not done yet. Spots the play up. Holding a sight. Still, Polzak peeks into Exit. Insani with the third. A collapse on B from Complexity.
This is domination. This is complete domination. And where MIBR are growing in confidence in rounds, and where Complexity have never shown that they're going to push ramp, where they're going to push cave, they just disrespect the util. They're ahead of it immediately. So where they go for this aggressive play in towards cave, it just doesn't work out. You got the jump from Brenton, the setup with the flash as well from drop, puts Insani, that star player, straight on the angle. And suddenly everyone is showing up here for MIBR, and there's no resistance. It's timid. That's the approach from Complexity. They feel like a shadow of their former self at times. And Floppy is just trying to hold on to this AWP, and hey, do you know what? It might happen, but it won't.
A couple of kills isn't going to mean too much for him. But yeah, you're right. It is just very timid, very passive control, trying to assert a deep smoke towards doors or going up onto ledge, scaling, any sort of split, any sort of aggression, pushing A main, something. They're just sitting back.
They tried it once and they got overrun. It was a Legion Floppy in mid, and it was the split that came through over cave from shelf and elbow. MIBR just broke all the smokes and made them feel incredibly overwhelmed. The thing is, by playing passive in that previous round, it's almost given them sort of a false sense of security that that's the way they should be playing it, because it came right down to that 2-on-2. And to be fair, it felt like Grim should have got that multi-kill, as you mentioned. That double setup in cave was really good initially. It's just none of the gunfights going their way right now for Cole.
Crazy, the last time these two teams met was over a year ago in CSGO, and that was when Complexity eliminated MIBR from the last CSGO major. Now MIBR might get their revenge. Can eliminate Complexity from Jönköping, one of the favorites to take the whole thing. Here's some pistols. 5-7 up close. The lead. Oh, fully blinded. The
What?
flashbang is perfect. Inside, he doesn't stop pressing W.
Or left click.
He's just holding down all the buttons.
That's such a tilter. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, come on, man. I know this is the round we expect MIBR to win just because of disparity in firepower, but that is BS.
Yeah, you feel like Elige is guaranteed a kill there. You can kind of see that round happening. He gets the kill, picks up the AK. It's the multi. Suddenly, complexity of something out of nowhere, but inside happens.
And now this is the first time MIBR have really leaned A outside of a clutch attempt. Floppy, was that shadow spotted? Well, it doesn't matter because it's not. He clears him anyway on the swivel. JT will trade. So at least that's an AK that can be scavenged, but it doesn't matter because Drop's dealt with Hallzerg. JT on the collection once more, but look at this flanking towards mid. Your teammates all fallen. You try and back out a donut. You are trapped. You are dealt with. It's 7 of the best for MIBR.
Sunny gets his revenge as well into Elige that round. After Elige did have his number for a couple.
Yeah, to be fair, all of Elige's kills have been on Insani, so technically we were right about the head-to-head. Unfortunately, it's just not been relevant.
Come on. You see, he's blind as well. He's fully white, holding W and left click.
This is such a good switch up because now you've just shown A on the eco. You've never gone A on the buy rounds. This will be the round that Complexity has to adjust in towards mid. And now you run A as a unit. This is called perfectly.
Oh, and Hallzerg, that's not a shot he'll be remembering fondly. Drop gets floppy, tries to scale quickly to support the side, but it's now been completely breached. Desperation. Grim gets one on the spam, but he's immediately dealt with. So you've just got this double up in donut, the spam. Actually doing a lot of damage, but it goes both ways. Exit with the double. JT exits the round. This is going to be 8-0 for MIBR.
I cannot express how much of a good call that is from Exit. I cannot express how clever that is. Because we've been talking about it all first half. Where's your adjustment complexity? Where's your aggression? And the one round they bring it out is when they reinvest in these rifles. And Exit just has the read. Let's go hard A. We've set it up previously. We've seen how they've been trying to look and lean, even with the lesser weaponry. Hallzerg has always been over towards Donuts. You don't expect him in A main. And even when he's given the fights, he misses the opportunity.
Yeah, need to hit that shot. That was the way in, right? Get that shot, fall back to Donut. You got Floppy to support, and that's the way that round comes to Complexity. But as soon as the AWP misses at the first mark, that just completely, it all falls apart. He was very wide as well, looking for that fight. Wasn't expecting the speed.
He probably wasn't expecting the whole host of MIBR, right?
You're looking for that lurk that's kind of just edging out on the corner, slowly peeking, and instead you see 5 angry Brazilians charging you down.
And now you just go back to what's worked, right? If you're MIBR. Take space. Oh, JT's just been tagged on that long line. Oh, Nate finished the job.
That was your rifle.
And now you're going to accelerate. Grim, though, holding the spray. But he gets dealt with immediately. Maybe Hallzerg could be the outlet with the P250. 2 kills immediately, finds the AK, but Exit will trade. It's a 2-on-2. It's the best chance Complexity have had in a while. But with Safe taking the back lines, Floppy, it's actually maybe skirting around the smoke. Never mind. Dealt with by that AWPer. And Elige is left completely alone.
It is Elige. Oh, he doesn't look long. Okay, he sees the body. Gets himself an AK, and he can lock off the bomb. It's just the AWP, but it's safe. And of course it's safe. Another clutch for him under his belt at this tournament. Hallzerg does his best as they force the issue through the smoke. They just wanted to get it done. They get 2 kills. The HG's onto JT. Grim gets spammed through the smoke, and they just decide, let's commit. Hallzerg's there, gets the double. You feel like he's almost done enough, but not quite. Elige almost gets that moment.
You know what's horrible there is if Hallzerg actually just stayed on the P250, you might have even found that 3rd kill. So he was kind of caught quick switching, and then by the time you start shooting with the AK, they're already out around the corner. Not that he was to know.
I think anyone in that position's picking up the AK.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just devastating. It's just the speed of these executes now for MIBR. It's the constant variation. A complexity they can't hang on Ancient.
Yeah, that's symbolic. Ancient's been a real rough one for Complexity in recent months. Just a single win under their belt. Used to be a map that would be guaranteed these elite highlight kills in middle constantly. On the T side, I still expect to see it. Here we go. GT gets the flash in, doesn't see anything. Elite does catch one. GT deleted. Here's the scaling. And Insani is able to win one on the flop. He's always good for one, but Elite is good for 3. His 4th in the round. And it's all Elite. The bomb is his. Exit needs to step into Elite's domain to collect it, but Elite just comes to him. Oh, but Elite gets it anyway. It's the ace for Elite.
Why didn't he shoot? Why did he shoot him? I guess he's trying to look for more kills, but there it is. You call for it. Highlight moments from Elite. They take mid. They have that fight. The scaling towards Shelf. The flashbangs from MIBR were brilliant to isolate JT, but they give Elite that opportunity. And he single-handedly gives Complexity their first round. And it's a step in the right direction, but still the max they can achieve here is 3.
If you're relying on Elite to ace, you're not in a good place.
Unfortunately, that's been Complexity for the last 2 months.
Spam on the mark, but too many layers. And Safe removes the lead, who is getting aggressive out A main, had Holzerk to support. So now what do? You've lost your one-man wrecking machine, and MIBR still have theirs.
Which one? I think that's the best bit, because any of them can step up. JT will at least find exit. IGL and IGL violence, but they will reset. They will move back here, MIBR. It feels like the only piece of map control they've got is B. And Holzerk has pushed A main with the AWP.
JT caught a spam kill on Insani as well. These 3 players are limping. This one should be Complexities. It feels like there's no way for them to fumble. Not with all the health, not with the player advantage, not with everyone in the right place. This has got Complexity's name all over it. And with those 2 kills, that will confirm it. Safe actually doesn't need to save. Got plenty of money. I suppose Insani doesn't, so being able to drop doesn't hurt.
And Holzerk, you can't afford to lose this AWP. You imagine it would be scavenged up anyway. Safe's even going to molly him off. That's ridiculous, but that is just to hold on. That is just to save his sniper. So Complexity will get 2 rounds in a row, which is very good. They're actually starting to build a little bit back in, but it is one step at a time. It is a very long journey here on MIBR's map pick. You feel like they've already done the hard work.
The coffee's hit in for Complexity. MIBR used their first timeout. They'd love to exit the half with 10. And their map pick. Especially with Vertigo coming up next, which obviously it's always been a good map for Complexity, but this is the new Vertigo, and even though it is the pick of Complexity, MIBR have always been a very good Vertigo team.
And here's the thing as well, right? If you get blown out on Ancient, MIBR are winning every individual fight. If the whole team looks good, we've already seen in this half alone, Complexity have looked very passive. It feels like they've looked like they've not wanted to take a lot of these fights. You can't do that on Vertigo because you will get run over.
Okay, that's how Insani felt. Unlucky. JT doing a lot of heavy lifting in this round. It's 3K for him. JT tied with the lead. We're going 8. I'm telling you this straight out the gate. 4 friends in main.
Time is not bad here for Complexity, though, because they've got all the space. They don't hear anything this time. There's no flashbangs sort of being set up for MIBR over towards Shelf, so now you can just move in. They're going to be here at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, Floppy will take first contact. In fact, this smoke's going to be very painful because it's just as the execute comes through, they need to commit off it. Grim close by. Floppy's going to play a very committed angle behind the smoke. Flashbangs hit him and he just sprays. He could have just played Trigger Discipline, but instead it's Grim who steps in. Gets the 3. But Elige fell. That was a spam through Donut as he tried to support, so it's a 2-on-2. Allzerk's AWP into CT spawn. JT worried about a flank, but both players present in the temple.
At least that's util, but they're so far away, and these Ts are just spread in towards temple. Now you got to clear everything.
Double smoke though, and double kit. So all the tools they need. One goes to A main, one goes to the bomb. Allzerk can get on it. And he's the only one remaining. A HE gonna go straight in his position, will reveal him, and he is spotted and dealt with. Double digits for MIBR.
Look, it might be 6:30 in the morning for Complexity and their HQ in Texas, but it's time for them to wake the hell up, especially when it comes to this rifle core, because they've been asleep at the wheel and MIBR have been running over them.
Yeah, we need a few more yeehaws. And these ninas.
Yeah, call an ambulance at the moment for Complexity.
Meanwhile, smoke. That's going to allow them to scale into A. One lands on Donuts, no save. Will not be able to see a player to deny, so bomb plant 100% locked in. And a post plant set up. Now there isn't a kit in the hands of MIBR. They opted for the double dualies. Exit with a flashbang. A late lurk from JT. This is going to be critical as this round progresses. Drop going to be spamming off those dual leads. I've seen him quicker, but he does connect. Actually, no, it's Brendan with his. Grim gets a double back. And JT's flank can now start to activate. Hulzek hits one as well. This is a pistol for Complexity.
Yeah, finally, right? There we go. Life injected back into Complexity, at least for now. And to be honest, when you take a look at these riflers, we've had all this talk about Elige, we've spoken about Floppy. One guy we haven't mentioned is Grim, and he's been, by and large, on this map in particular, just the best rifler for Complexity. Sure, Elige got that ace, but you take away that ace, and look, he's on 3 kills.
Yeah, it's like, it's between JT and Grim for me, which is, I don't think ever where you want it to be.
I mean, Grim's fine. JT, not so much.
Don't disrespect the GOAT. Actually pretty decent fragging IGL, all things considered.
He's always good for one map in an event, I feel. Like, there's one map he'll just pop off and he'll get like 25 kills.
He's very good on Ace in particular, I feel. Nice little flashbang, but Floppy able to fall back. He does have the bomb, so he needs to be a little careful. You've spotted that bomb. Someone helping keep this little A stack in play. Full economical for MIBR. They've got so many rounds to work with, they don't mind letting this one slide.
Just make sure it's clean Complexity. That's all it is. Just make sure that you get everyone alive here, or if you lose anyone, make sure it's just the MAC-10. 1 minute left. They got the site. MIBR, it looks like they might look for exits because they don't know how many SMGs are in play. They don't want to feed Complexity money.
No, especially when Complexity have such a long journey ahead of them back into this. JT in the prime position. Well, maybe not the prime position for a MAC-10 at that range, but at least he'll be, you'd think, accelerating. Like, why wouldn't you send him in just to, well, send himself in, I suppose. Just go try and farm up some of these kills.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, hold up. Don't get too costly. You've lost 2 players. Floppy's low. JT will need to pick up this rifle before it gets blown out the server. Okay, they kill everyone, and they get the rifle. It's all good.
Nice. All right, fine. That's what you need. But now it's the guns. And we know how MIBR was so good just in those gun rounds. They're not going to shy away from these fights in towards mid, especially with how that first half went. You know they're going to be pushing. You know they're going to be forcing the issue. It is up to Complexity to have a good support network to help Elige in mid. There we go.
There's Elige. Oh, yeah, that's what we wanted to see. Straight in, and Sani hits the deck. Elige! Actually, no, that's Fluffy. Never mind. Still got excited. Between the two of them, they demolished this mid setup. And so, that's a simple way to get your rifle round started.
Look, we call for the support network, and you get it. It's the molly that just gets thrown just off the edge of the wall in mid, and you got the double flashbangs that rain over the top, thrown by Hulzek, who is on the Glil this round. It's typically thrown by your AWPer as well, so the riflers can be a lot more flexible. It's good, and it's exactly what they needed. MIBR were willing to take that fight. You could even see that they were ready to scale in towards Cave, but Elige is fearless. And that's what they need. Save just trying to hold on. And in fact, he might find the double. This won't result in a round win, but at least it's good damage.
Yeah, it keeps him a little honest. Chop gets another onto Grim. That will be even better. Okay, you've gone a little too far. Took a bit too many bites of the glizzy.
What?
I'm still obsessed with that picture of Hulzek.
Oh, when he tweeted us and he was like the glizzy gobbler.
The glizzy gobbler.
Amazing.
Exit goblins. Boy might be up. And he opens up with a sick double. Yeah, it gets very costly. They lose 4 players at the end.
It should be fine, because look, they can reinvest. MIBR can't really. Run boost, and this is where Complexity decides to go in towards this A hit, and it's just exit. If he times his smoke correctly, that could be great. JT gets a really important kill on safe.
That's massive, actually, because now they aren't going to immediately rotate. If they got that kill and saw nobody else, they'd be on A. Instead, it's just exit here with a 5-7 in the back of side. He's found one. And they need to deal with him, and they do. Grim is the one that safeguards that entry into sight. Now you probably just want to hold on these 2 AKs. Take them into the next round, especially for Insani. They're actually, surprisingly, at the bottom of the board right now. At least on the side of MIBR.
Yeah, that's not really a criticism of him. It's more just impressive, the fact that all of MIBR have really sort of arrived, and this is 10-5 without Insani having one of these pop-off games. It's MIBR without Safe having to have one of these like clutches every now and then that we do see from him in Challenger. I think another conversation.
Is that one clutch?
Yeah, true, but it's 1 out of 10. Hasn't been necessary. It hasn't been sort of a reliance piece. And obviously the desk brought up just sort of the fact that Horzak started strong, Safe started strong. We spoke about that yesterday with MIBR, with the fact that they won the Challenger event in Melbourne when Safe in that grand final really stepped up and had that impact on the AWP. He's arrived early. He's arrived day 1. And he's on the AWP now, uncontested. Horzak's on this rifle, but it might be faster here out of Cole.
Yeah, 4 players immediately at B. Just Grim, close to the middle, keeping some occupation. Zani wants to fight. Alish just walking in. He's ahead of the smoke. Drop's holding passive. They've crept in, and now he sees them. Calling out to his team. He needs support. He's only got a player in cave. Staying alive for a while, but not for long enough. Support gets dealt with. Alish finds drop.
Save.
And they just walk straight into B. Easy as you like it. This goes from at the half an 8-round game to now the narrowest of margins. Just going to be 3 between them.
And I'll be honest, it's rounds like this that make me really happy and should get you excited if you're a Complexity fan. Because these are confidence rounds. These are not, we're shying away from the fights. This is, I will have a lurk time in on B. I will walk up here, says Alish. Floppy, come with me. We now know 1 player's at long. It's a double swing. They then double swing cave. Every kill is outnumbered for MIBR. The flashbangs are perfect. It's done.
Yeah, if Safe had started B, it would have been a very different story. Even Hunt. Almost everyone. Safe will hold onto the AWP just about. Which will allow an investment into this one. Drop can drop. They need a CT round. Neither of these teams can just get a CT round. They just like pressing W too much. The timeout for MIBR. Looking to find the answer to get this 11th round. Has eluded them thus far in this half.
It's interesting because normally when MIBR play on this CT side, they win about half of the rounds. They don't need half of the rounds, they need 3. So if you're playing all 12 of them, that's in your percentages. That's there, surely, right? Don't get nervous now. This is a Complexity warming into things. This is a Complexity that is trying to come alive on MIBR's map pick. Suddenly you snap this away from them, the whole story changes as you look to Vertigo. But this is more like it. It's Alish grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck, bailing out Grim. Huge fight here in mid, and Horzak wins it out full blind. Will be traded by exit, but it's Insani that's hit the deck.
And Alish again. Wresting control back, just fighting forward, Safe on the flick. Lurk denied. Now it's a bit messy. That bomb is all the way back at elbow.
Look at Alish.
But Alish is walking through red. Now Safe is aware of this possibility. He's moving back to Temple. Alish might beat him to it, but Safe again, quick on the trigger. This guy is certainly dodging all the allegations about LAN performances.
And now what happens now is that because they found that kill, MIBR don't need to get aggressive at B. Because you can see they were posturing to maybe take B ramp. But instead, it goes the other way.
Is JT going to fake B and Grim try and just get a plant on A?
JT might just walk B on a contact. That's massive. And for JT, he can now fake B effectively. And that bomb can still commit over. JT knows that Safe is here, but Safe collects on him. 3 HP. That's the cost it comes with. A Grim plants the bomb.
He knows exactly where Safe's coming from. At least he can re-pick up that AWP. But the only way Safe wins this round is with perfect timing.
No kit.
Surely there's no way in.
There's a
He has
kit.
found a kit. Okay. That's going to entice him a little bit. See if he can flush out Donut. No one reveals. I think without being given a kill immediately, the money's not there. He wants to hold on to this AWP. JT just walks up B and does everything for complexity.
Yeah, massive. That was even with that MIBR double swing. They delay the push by 5 seconds because they found that kill on a leech. And yet it still doesn't pay off. That was probably the most effective fake in the history of fakes for complexity.
Yeah, it's not quite a fake me, just kill anyone. Safe's going to feel hard done by. He did so much work in this round, getting these 2 great kills onto the lurking players, and then his teammates just die. GG. Beautiful spray control. MIBR continue to invest with the full loss bonus and the saved AWP. Now it's getting desperate. Now it's just 2 rounds. Holzerk. Does he want to peek into save? Flashbang, doesn't matter. Save hits the mark. At the moment, the only one that's really stepping up in these rounds. He's given them the mount advantage early.
That head-to-head might come to a fold in a sec as well because Elige is once again looking to push the issue. As trades are going back and forth, we take a look. He's on the other side of Insani. Elige has found it, but the player advantage is still with MIBR.
Yeah, Safe again being relentless with this AWP. He now comes back to mid to see if he can spot out where Elige has gotten to. He doesn't see that he's pushed. That's good information, and with no one entering onto B, Exit takes a look into A main. This is a great reposition off the information they have.
Oh, if he just burrows here.
1 kill is enough. This is a great angle. Surely if anyone comes to the left, it should be Exits. And it is. Elige not ready for that very close angle. Now Grim is in a good position to get the refrag, but these rotations are going to be fast. He actually abandons that. Moves off to see if he can catch these rotations.
He could go B in a weird world. I don't think he will, but there's an avenue where he can.
Well, when he doesn't see anyone Donut, he's going to think the rotations have to be CT. And now he's realized, yeah, I need to find a kill immediately. Taps the bomb, but that's just going to get them closer, draw them in. There's no trap here. He's going to be pounced upon in a moment. And Safe, a triple kill for him. MIBR finally break this CT side drought.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well because for MIBR, you assume that as soon as Safe finds that kill on Holzerk, he'll be the one that moves. Instead, he remains there because B has been a posing problem, and it means the rifle goes over towards Red Room instead. And it was Insani. And Jet Elige still found that kill, and it doesn't matter because whilst he's got the power position, his teammates have fallen around him.
And despite all of those rounds in a row, 6 of them, money's not great. Thoppy and Holzerk lacking, but Elige, tries to take that fight, and Sani finally gets the better of him. Big player to find. All the T's group.
Don't need to swing this if you're MIBR. You don't need to force the issue, but I guess you are baiting them into that AWP and the second player. But that felt a little bit scary.
Grim can still make it scary. A 1-on-4. Bomb plant for that money. Knows how that AWP was in play. Looking to see if he can catch this flank of Insani, who has positioned himself into Jaguar. Grim tucks. So much utility for the CTs, though. They can flush this out with a Molotov. So patient as well, just seeing if Grim's going to try and get aggressive to take one of these fights. They isolate the ramp. Incendiary goes forward now, doesn't spread, but Insani uses that timing to swing through. And so map point will be secured for MIBR.
Yeah, that's a really impressive way to retake. As you said, the Incendiary actually acts as the activation point for Grim to check long because it doesn't spread to him initially. And that's when Insani goes around the corner. constantly giving Grim two options to look at consistently. It's not like it's telegraphed for one angle to be in play. They're never allowing him to have that option. He's always guessing on a 50-50. And it's a real shame because Complexity were building back into this game, right? It was 6 rounds straight.
They needed more CT rounds. 2 was not enough.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at all. Like, they needed 3, 4, really.
Was anything more than 2.
2, yeah. It's like the 3rd worst amount you can have.
You still would credit them, to be fair, for actually being able to build back in this. It's not like it's a blowout because this does set up the series to be more of a marathon rather than a fast sprint for MIBR. And we're talking as well, we're talking like they're already out the map 1. They're not. They've already done 6 rounds in a row. There's every world in which they can do 4.
Safe's hitting everything right now. That's the scary thing.
Well, this money might suck, actually. Yeah.
It wasn't great in the last round either. Same players that go lacking and into middle lead. He's burnt, has to bail. Over the top comes JT and Sunny's caught on the jump up, but the trade is fast. Good dink though, exit is low. So's Elige. A pause from Complexity. They wait to see if MIBR overextend out elbow. A smoke thrown to Donut.
We look at Drop. Drop knows. He's got all of B. Has to be A.
Yeah, they try and bait the utility with that smoke, but all it's really done is lock in and confirm what's going on. A set into middle, the Molotov misses. Safe spots out one player pushing. You got double layering on A. Complexity are walking out. They're in main. Brenson tucked, Safe catches the lurk, so now it's just these 3 players walking in. Exit gets 1, Brenson undetected, and he can lock in the round all by his lonesome. It's a bit messy though. Holzak does get the double with the Mac 10. Upgrades to the M4. A flashbang forward just to send Safe packing, but nothing can stop Safe this map. MIBR take Ancient.
Yeah, they were really poised to set up after that first half, right? Complexity, they try their best. They build in on that T side, but it was just too much. It was too difficult to try and overwhelm. And once MIBR get 1, that's the confidence reinstated back in them. And now for Complexity, it's all or nothing on Vertigo.
There you go. MIBR takes their map pick.
MIBR have only played this map once since the changes have come out as well.
Okay.
And that was against domestic opposition, as Neo said, 16-12 against Galoris. So that was an OT. And now we head here. The thing I'm looking at right now is the CT setup here for Complexity. We won't be there to start with. We'll be on that T side, but Floppy will be the B anchor.
Complexity's T side was where they were able to get things going.
Oh, what?
That's one way for Exit to get things going, and he follows up with the second. So it's left to Floppy and Holzak. Continue up the ramp. Still a player tuck sandbags. Safe has gone completely undetected, and he's just going to tap away. Brenz and hits another.
Excuse me, Exit.
Run that back.
Please run it back.
Yeah, they're happy with that. It's like, yeah, good job. Do it again.
He wasn't even aware he killed the first guy. Oh, I'm sorry, he did not stop moving. And that is heartbreaking, especially when you have built back into this game if you're Cole. You came back on that T side, and now you've just been brutalized by the MIBR pistol. And they all fought ramp. That was a very classic old Vertigo strat.
MIBR playing with the triple M4 double dually setup. So Insani and Safe haven't invested.
That's wild.
So they're going to buy rifles next round. They're completely assuming Complexity go for the full eco, which makes sense. They got really nothing done that round. So why would they force into it? So you're playing mega long term. And to be fair, armored dualies, you certainly favor them against the Glocks.
Yeah, you do. But I mean, this is outrageous.
I think it's really cool. I think it's neat.
Yeah, it could be. It should be fine with the M4 supporting them.
Yeah, it is fine. There's no way it falls apart.
Don't do this. I know exactly the tone that you use.
It's impossible
There's no
for this to be...
Oh, it's not happening.
Not in this world. Good swing.
It's because they went into the M4s.
Yeah. There's some dualies here. Safe's about. There we go. And gets himself a kill with them. Rattles them off, and JT will get one. The spell rifle to be recovered. Safe for the triple with the dualies. Doubt is silenced. Brandon in shambles. Oh, they lose the M4. Okay, well, unlucky.
I mean, sure. Look, you got to reinvest in M4, but now Safe can go straight on the AWP, I guess. That was your eco for Cole, so now they'll be buying into it. Don't think Hallzerk's going to be able to afford a sniper because there's been no bomb plant on either round for complexity. And for those of you unfamiliar a little bit with the new changes on Vertigo, let me give you the rundown real quick. Basically, spawns are changed now so the CTs can peek really aggressively, just like that. But Elige has taken Safe's head clean off. Drops in a really cool angle to see if there's going to be a boost, and he spams it. But now he needs to back up. Now he needs help.
Dropping util just to slow them down. The incendiary goes forward, and as that support exit rotates, Insani is pushed through middle. Has recognized a gap with all these players present on B. He's dropped. And Hallzerk is completely unaware. Insani in the back lines. You can see JT is holding for some sort of aggressive play. But Insani doesn't need to activate. He's kind of the follow-up once the commit comes.
Oh, they keep holding it. Elige is now that player that's holding for the flank.
Insani can just chill. Yeah. He had them locked in. I feel like he didn't need to move there, but I guess with the play disadvantage, felt like he needed to make the play.
Yeah, and why would you expect someone to be holding the flank with a minute left on the clock, you know?
Well, they certainly have the bodies to hold it. Good damage being done. It's still not out of the woods, especially with Exit continuing to fight forward. He finds a double up, and JT is incredibly low. Elige hits the deck. This long pause from Complexity has not worked out at all, but keep your eyes on Hallzerk. He's walked into A. So the bomb on express route there. This round completely hinges on Hallzerk and how he plays this.
This is great. This angle here is perfect because now you can delegate yourself between these two angles. You have control of when you swing. And this is everything for Hallzerk because he spotted the first and he actually commits to that spray, is able to find Brendan, drop left alone in an uncomfy spot because Hallzerk could have relocated and he hasn't. Clean from Hallzerk. I like the fact he activated off that B-stairs contact. He grabs all the space. He provides that outlet and Complexity. They will gather that round.
Yeah, I guess the reason they didn't commit when they were in 4 players at B and they've dealt with the flank is because Hallzerk was making that space on A. They wanted to see what he got first. Either he gets the full control and they rotate back, or he just continues pushing forward and they flank B. So either way, they wait for that, and that's why it seems a little silly that they just pause here, but that's the reasoning. Even though it almost backfires on them, he was that contingency.
Will be an investment for MIBR. No dualies in play this time, however. It's MP9s, it's pistols, at least there's a couple of rifles, and for MIBR, they're using these spawns to get really aggressive here on A, and this sets up really quick flanks. The thing is, this angle is always checked, always considered, but maybe with this contact taken deep, Brendan could have a chance.
Oh, why wouldn't you put Exit here with the MP9? This feels super risky. You're one of your 2 rifles this close. Maybe you've dropped a spam one out. They don't check it, and he's still good for 1.
Oh, what?
Double dink? They're both on 2 HP. How's that happen? Safe, able to get one back. Droppers just spam them out the server. I need to see how both those players ended up on 2 HP.
Well, I got dinked through the smoke.
Crazy spam from Drop. Grim's got no util.
That round reminds me a lot of MIBR yesterday against Alliance, where it feels like they have no business winning half of these rounds, and then suddenly they just get it. And they're just able to completely turn around on its head. They're able to make things happen. Maybe it's destiny, maybe it's fate, who knows? But MIBR, they'll take it all day long. Sometimes you make your own luck. But that double dink is absurd.
One of them might have been... No, that was...
No,
that was both Drop.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Both Drop.
I say one of them might have been... No, Brendan. No, that was just Drop getting 2 spam dinks at, like, instantly.
And it's interesting that Drop is coming over towards A to help out there. I think it's because he has that second rifle, but he's typically that B anchor. You're going to see him with Exit. They'll be making the plays on that side of the map.
Exit's having a phenomenal series.
Just event, to be honest.
That's
true.
true.
He was so good yesterday against Alliance.
Starts this one top of the board. Courtesy of an absurd pistol round. So we have the Grim saved AK, surrounded by Glocks and a Deagle for Floppy. So they're going to crawl through middle. Parade of crabs. The good kind.
Took me a while to figure out what that meant. Probably says more about me than anything else. Grim boosted up in mid. They want to try and get this rifle online, and he has found safe, and that's a rifle that can be recovered, but a double rotate from Elevator. MIBR have got to be careful because you can't walk into the guillotine.
Single player with an AK who's getting it done, but Drop pushes forward. This is the response. They knew players were under and knew that the AK wasn't there, so they push in, deal with that extra element. Now you've just got these 3 players in mid, but you've got Grim alive.
It's a really good reposition here from Exit because he's vacated A. He now locks in, he makes sure to MIBR, hey, they are not here, and now they're all grouping together. Some of these players don't have armor.
You don't need to worry now about that flank. They can only be in that one position, so you can go back through. You've got the catwalk position, the double up, but a bomb plant is already good. Rifles on everybody, but as you mentioned, no armor except for Grim. So again, he is the guy to watch. He swings wide, and Sunny and Drop collect. And JT, armorless, gonna be very tricky. First kill his. So maybe there is a world that's not planted for him. Smoke on the bomb, and Insani, a bullet through the brain. They recover after Grim gives a slither of hope for Complexity.
Yeah, but to be fair, look, that's AKs, that's Glocks. You still got that bomb down. You still put it into a 3-on-3. It looks contestable. They have the right ideas with the double swing in towards Elevator. But because Exit has rerouted and rebuilt with his team, that's the whole reason that MIBR win that round. Because there's safety in numbers. Because at the start of this round, it's all isolated kills.
Yeah, safe pre-fires on the Grim as he gets boosted, and Grim's not at all deterred. Fast for Liege. He's just charging up, and he's taking them down. Liege, that's an opener. A master of the rap, and he shows us how it's done.
This is really unconventional T sides from Complexity. And I know that's a bizarre statement, but before the changes, sure, it was A, and A again. After these changes, with the map still being figured out, meta-wise, it has been a lot more mid and B-centric. I've never seen this pace up A ramp.
Yeah, so cool though. Set up by the flashbangs, he's just looking down. But Insani still present and still taking names. 2 for him. Safe gets 1 as well. And it leaves it to Drop, who's already rotated in. And he could catch a timing onto JT. If he can get the bomb here as JT throws utility, it becomes a 1-on-1, but JT is thorough, expecting that play. And Complexity get their second on the board.
And he's expecting it because Grim has walked mid. So he's already nullifying the rotation. He's dealt with the fact that they're in mid. And suddenly JT has got to worry about 2 angles there. I guess 3 if you include the bomb site. But catwalk and short. And he checks his back 3 times. Because you've got to make sure that you don't fumble that round. Especially with JT having the bomb on his back. Because suddenly, if he gets dropped, you're in a really difficult 1-on-1. Because there's so many angles that you can just relocate to if you're that CT side. So well done. And again, that's all set up by that aggression from a Liege.
Yeah, nice re-aggression from MIBR. Throw right in Sunny, pushing forward, and the headshot angle gets 2 kills safe as well, but JT recovers. Bails them out again. That's the Liege you love to see, just emboldened to go for those aggressive fights. I think he's one of my favorite players to watch when you can see him about to enter a fight when the opponents are all in different angles, and just watching him adjust, it's just beautiful.
I do like these rounds out of Complexity where they can set a Liege up for success. But at the same time, we saw on Ancient, it can't be replicable for so many rounds in a row. You can see how much it means to him, the fact that he gets that double entry, and he's still concerned that the round is not yet
yeah.
won. Every round feels like a challenge. This one shouldn't be. Has been 1 rifle dropped over for MIBR, so they still have a little bit of bite in round 7.
Well, they were able to do a lot with the 2 rifles they had last time that were kind of surrounded by pistols and MP9, so don't count them out by any measure. Complexity would love to break them. Get this T side rolling where, again, on Ancient, that's when they did their heavy lifting. Vertigo's in a weird place now where I'm not sure if it's possible to really say definitively which side is going to be stronger, particularly with teams having different strengths.
Yeah.
I feel like for both these teams, the T side is their strength with the rifling core that they have.
I would say it is for Complexity, especially because they aren't just focusing and tunnel visioning on mid to B. It feels like they have sussed out A. And the fact that they are putting a lot of aggression over there and now having this fine balance with these eco rounds, you know that they've been well drilled. You know they put a lot of prep time and reps offline to make sure that they can overwhelm teams. Going against the grain, going against the meta. This is why they've picked Vertigo.
Exit's dropped rifle, doesn't get much done, and Insani would love to hold on to it just so that Exit can have a reasonable investment into the next round. But I don't know if I fancy his chances. There's a fireman down the ladder and straight into Hulzak. So Complexity put it within one round, and all the momentum is with them. Yeah, Hero Rifle gets nothing done. So now Drop's going to be the one that goes wanting.
Yeah, and he's your B player. So that means that probably Exit is going to come over and be with him. You're probably going to have like a 2-1-2. It's Insani instead.
Got the spawn.
It's interesting, they're really flexing with these rifles. They are playing like more spawn-based CS.
Yeah, Vertigo's changed these days with the spawns. If you get that deep, like the really far away B spawn, it's really hard to beat the timings. Whereas the A spawns feel a lot more open in terms of getting to gap. You can pretty much do it from any spawn. So the B becomes a lot more spawn-based.
Did he see him through the gap in the tarpaulin? I don't think so.
They do abandon B early, and Siny comes to double up in mid with Drop, and Complexity going to turn tail from A, so they are heading over to this B bomb site. And MIBR aren't going to respond just yet. You feel like that flashbang might draw the rotation, save moves. He doesn't have utility to slow this down, so it'll have to be retake, you imagine. They know what players in mid because of that Molotov from Grim. Safe was sitting backwards, but it doesn't matter. Floppy domes him.
Safe.
Yeah, I think you do. Drop might hang out, see if he can get himself a rifle to save, rather than just this 5-7. Or even just collect the one off safe. But instead, it's JT that collects.
What a really weird setup for MIBR, because Insani took the B spawn, and then rather than going in towards B with Drop and putting him in danger, for example, they just put him mid, and they're playing retake B, and then they don't retake. Hulzak just spamming through the wall.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you see what he did there? He dropped the smoke, so it blocked the shadow, the light. So they didn't see the T's walking through.
Okay, that's very cool.
I was like, why is he dribbling this smoke? It's a bit random, but it was to block the light. That's so cool.
They got a couple of weapons out of it as well. So for $300 worth of investment, you take that all day long. Yeah, they've been in the workshop. And the buys just keep getting worse for MIBR.
Hulzak on the prowl. Double scope default.
Nearly.
Drop had a rifle instead of the 5-7. Maybe there was a good chance for a kill. Set in mid. Some aggression that's not working out for the CTs. Juggled rifle, doesn't get much done. Floppy's opened up B. Being a much better start to this map than Ancient.
Yeah, it's good to see as well, especially when he swaps over to that CT side, because he will be tested at B. You imagine that's just going to be sort of the game plan for MIBR. And as you said, Complexity sort of need as many T rounds as possible, because we know MIBR are a force to be reckoned with. The fact that they got 10 on that T side of Ancient is concerning.
There's that smoke
Yeah.
again.
So, can you see? No, but you can hear. That molly doesn't quite spread exactly as Brendan was hoping for, but he is trapped. Utility's really good, but Safe will trade on the USP of all weapons.
Yeah, just the main thing with that is you can't pre-fire when you see those shadows start to move close to you. The walls, they're closing in. And nothing will be saved. They still have the investment into the next round, but at least you won't have the AKs. So Complexity happy with that.
Yeah, but Safe will have the AWP. So that is the main thing.
In the lead for the first time, our Complexity of this series. Confidence starting to come back.
Well, again, it actually feels really similar to what we saw on Ancient, where MIBR are allowing Complexity a lot of room. They're not fighting for space really actively. Hulzerk, his attention drawn by that nade trajectory. But you got to be careful on the close right. Forced it out in the open, but Drop still lies in wait.
That is a really bold, aggressive stance from Hulzerk. If Drop had swung at any point, he was dead. Thought he was just hunting a sole player. Cool mollies actually forced them back, and Insani peeks off the back of it. As they have to disengage, he uses that timing to get the opening kill, but it's very passive on A in response to this. And the T's have walked up. Elige is getting full control. Nice HE on the save. But the responders are here. Elige spots the AWP, baits out that shot. Now Hulzerk slips in. And it's a standoff. On the sides, default Safe thinks he's got a timing to run away when Elige moves closer, but Hulzerk on the line. Elige with the follow-up. Elige with another. Eventually put down by Drop, and he wasn't considered. He's found a double from the side. Puts it into this 2-on-2. And a smoke. It's going to keep him safe for a moment. A blow on it, but Drop is continuing to frag. Grim has to pick up the pieces. And now he lets them know exactly where he is. Insani is just tucked. Not revealing himself. The only information Grim has was on Drop's position. He might be baited into chasing him. He's just chasing Ghosts right now. Doesn't have the time really to make the catwalk play. Still dodging Insani, who now lets him know where he is. Bit of a cinch from his own molly, and Insani able to finish the job that Drop started.
Yeah, look, the last thing you expect of your Complexity is a third player from MIBR in gap. A triple gap setup with one player back in elevator, one hiding on the line, and then one just tucked in around the corner. And Drop goes above and beyond. Drop does more than enough. He actually collects all the kills that setup should have got in the first place, but it wasn't one-on-ones. He got every single multi-kill. I think there was a bit of a comms issue as well between Hulzerk and Grim, because Hulzerk went round the corner before Grim blew open the smoke.
Crazy round from Drop, and that's that new gap in elevator. You can just walk through quickly on the rotate. Nowhere is safe. They're going to try again on A. Grim lurking middle. Complexity gather. Re-incendiary. Good HE, does a lot of damage. Softens them up for these rifles who start to move forward, but Hulzerk, he's on the line. The flashbang is good, and the kills are better from exit. 3 for him. Safe gets the final player from Complexity on A, and it's Grim's lurk that's left to do nothing.
That's what I asked for. It is what I asked for from MIBR. Just be proactive, take the fights, don't be scared to fight Complexity. And that's exactly what they do. And the variance here from MIBR in the previous rounds they the push ramp is that they did it with utility. It's not contact. You can see that Complexity was set up ready for a push, but they weren't ready for that flash.
Yeah, Hulzerk had the perfect spot. He could have just ended it all, but the timing on the flashbang is just superb. Spot on. Does everything and more. And now in this final round of the half, Complexity only have 2 rifles. The Deagle's in the hands of the other 3. And a lack of utility as well. It falls to a single flashbang and smoke. Whereas MIBR have everything they need. 2 players on B as well, which is where Complexity make their move.
Elige might be 7 and 10 with just 90 ADR. He's tagging everyone and just not finishing his meal. And instead it's Drop that gets his. Instant trades out of Insani. This B hold is much better from MIBR. It's Grim and JT yet again left in a really improbable situation.
Grim brought down so low too. Should be a rifle for JT to pick up, which is something at the least. In fact, a boost going to be assembled. Oh, the
no.
HE. Good night, Grim. There's no way. Boom. Out the server. Where's your boost now? JT, what you got left? There's one. But safe on the other side. Ooh, missed his shot. You don't want to give JT too many chances. Top of the board. But pinned in. And they can play this fairly safe. You'll retreat to double up with exit. You've got this flank that's slowly moving through. Safe edges around the corner, gets the shot, and MIBR will end the half with 7 rounds.
Driving down the boulevard, I see you. Looking, thinking, could it be you? Shopping sprees all on my car. If you let me, I would give it all to you. Coasting, open, hoping for more. Dreaming, thinking what I have is yours. Realize, recognize 100 times I've cried. Top down, music loud as we cruise at 85. Wondering is this a dream or real life? A fantasy is what this feels like. 10 toes down for my baby. This life be driving me crazy. Your friends talk down, it don't faze me. Leaving you alone, well that ain't me. Driving down the boulevard, I see you. Looking, thinking, could it be you? Shopping sprees all on my car. If you let me, I would give it all to you. Driving down the boulevard, I see you. Looking, thinking, could it be you? Shopping sprees all on my car. If you let me, I would give it all to you.
A big half needed in this second for complexity. Their challenger, dreams, journey on the line here on the 51 floors. They need to win Vertigo to stay alive in this series, to stay alive in the competition. And Floppy might have to deal with players a little bit further in advance.
Oh, they're just on the other side.
This spam's really good though, because now Floppy knows and he's able to get the first kill, but runs out of bullets. Drop hits the trade and MIBR accelerate.
Hey, 1 kill from that position's a lot, all things considered. Elish gets Gush, but Grim is here to support, and so is the rest of the team. JT arrives, and it's just a peppering on the B bomb side, but 2 players gushed. MIBR disengage. And they have the advantage with the health.
And you feel like where they are on such low HP, you don't want to rotate immediately just in case MIBR re-exec onto this site. So now Hallzerk is looking between like 8 different angles on A. This rewalk has to come in from Complexity, but it always feels a little bit dangerous. It always feels insecure because of the HP bars. But at least they did it, because now they can be ahead of this rotate.
Complexity are just going to move. Everyone's coming over. That smoke's just going to confirm their suspicions. Drop goes first to low HP just to set up for the trade. He continues to scale and maybe he can get a flank. They've found the kills through the smoke and Sani hits the headshot. And Drop gets his onto a leash. Oh, it's all falling apart for Complexity. The pistol for MIBR.
Yeah, and that is now 3 pistols out of 4 for MIBR. And we've already spoken about the narrative of Complexity. Slow starts in each half. It has to continue again here by losing that pistol. I really like the way they approached it, though, because they did clear B. They did reset to A. They all swung together, but they just got owned.
Gonna be the force buy from Complexity.
It needs to be a success, otherwise we are potentially saying goodbye.
Time for that scout masterclass from Hallzerk. He's looking for it. That's the... Oh!
I look dead on.
Yeah. He's the one that instead cops a little blow. It's only little though. He's okay. He'll keep peeking. No armor on Hallzerk, but the range on his side, and there is a player close, tucked in JT. Hallzerk ready to blow and go. But JT, he's the one that falls first. Hallzerk didn't spot a single player.
Yeah, the nade wasn't actually in the middle enough, so it didn't completely wipe the smoke.
The idea was cool. Execution, wanting.
Execution needed on MIBR, if you're Cole. The thing is, by removing JT, that's going to keep everyone at A.
Save's just rocking the USB that he picked up from last round.
Yeah, I mean, they had like double dualies on that round before, right? So they'll just work with whatever. Safe just wants the money. Floppy goes looking for info off the back of Hallzerk, finding the contact, and that's an open runway now for B.
Yeah, they've got one smoke that they can drop deep. There it lands. And Insani. It's all him. 3 kills, opens it all up. Why not get the 4th? Hallzerk desperately just looking for anything he can find. He's getting tagged. 3 players is so low, but it doesn't matter. The Glock will run him down.
Imagine if the pistols were still alive. It becomes a really exciting round. Unfortunately, he's the last player standing. And it doesn't quite go to plan. That was the force. Now Complexity needs the eco. And now you're giving MIBR significant breathing room here in this second half.
You know when even Mike Somber in the audience said it's not a good sign? They need your energy, guys. Complexity on the back foot. MIBR looking to eliminate them. It's got to be the eco. A stack on A. You know what's cool, actually? Again, Safe doesn't care for a primary weapon. Is that if MIBR win this, their semi-final opponent is Aurora, the team they beat in the grand final at Melbourne.
Yeah, that's the story of revenge or just confirmation that MIBR are that better team. Not only when it comes to HLTV rankings, but in that head-to-head. And for Aurora, that would be a very cool opponent. Those nades are massive. The swing will come in, though. Hallzerk finds the opening kill. Safe on his Glock, of course, removes Grim. And suddenly everything starts to remain a little bit more conventional. Floppy's on B. On a massive rotate, MIBR will get double digis.
Yeah, some serious damage, but not the kills. There's barely 2 players worth of health pool remaining for MIBR, but it will be double digits. Complexity's CT side yet to take shape. Remember how long it took them to get around on their CT side of Ancient. Safe with the recovered AK will confirm. 5-round lead. 3 required for MIBR. Booking that semi-final spot. Complexity needed all to force Anubis.
Yeah, they do. Not sure if Hallzerk's going to even be able to afford the AWP either. And that is such a detriment. if Complexity come into this full buy round and they can't go toe-to-toe because you know Safe is going to have this sniper. It is a scope weapon for Hulzerk, but it's the Org.
Certainly a weapon to choose. GT's close. Looking for the gap on this smoke. Not a blow on it. There it comes. And he pantses them. 2 for JT. Safe will hit 1 back, but JT runs out of bullets. Drop hounds him down, so it stays even.
And you've got the Insani flank. You've got the Insani flank in the back pocket if you're MIBR. You don't need to move. You just need to add pressure.
Yeah, and Complexity are going to be sweating. They've lost this control on the bomb site.
Look at Catwalk. Elijah's there. Peeking. Oh! He didn't die. And then the side wing comes in from sight.
Safe gets blown off the server, and that was the bomb, so they have to commit to fighting back. Drop, looking for the kills, and he lines them up. It's on to Elige, who's going to try and slip into the positions of his teammates who both fell in front of him. And he tucks into sandbags, wondering if that flank was coming, but they're both doubled up into gap. This needs to be perfect from Elige. Drop just did it to his teammates. Can he serve that revenge? They begin to walk around the crane. They have to come to his position. He's got the bomb and he gets the first kill. Insani now knows this is the head-to-head we spoke about, the one that we hyped up. And it's Elige that stands tall, putting the John in Jönköping.
Yeah, well done. Really needed as well. MIBR last saw Elige all the way back at Catwalk. So him pressing forward, going into sandbags, they're not ready for him. And as soon as he sees that molly flyover, he knows he can swing because Insani is not ready for the fight. And that all starts with JT getting that double up in towards ramp, but this is exceptional from Drop. It's wild how all of his kills, the impact ones, have not come on B. Not his standardized position.
Yeah, Drop has been lights out. Delivered around earlier, almost delivers that one with the double up. And the spacing from MIBR was so good in that 2-on-1, but they just didn't expect Elige to be there. So once they've come through ramp, they've walked all the way through elevator, expecting him to be present somewhere around middle there. They don't spot him, so they assume bomb is free to be collected. They split up. Insani waits to see if he catches Elige rotating. But he just lay in wait the entire time. Finally, Complexity get a CT round.
Yeah, but look at the cost that comes with it. It's a 1vx, which means you've got MP9s. It means you've got Famouses as a trade-off for all the utility. It ain't much, but it's what they've got to handle. And it's what they've got to deal with for MIBR. Boost up might come in immediately. That nade, if it does go to the boost, would be well placed. Instead, it goes the other way, and nade lands straight on Floppy, and he's walking wounded.
Walks back into that line. He'll have a sore head. Need some paracetamol for that. But nothing to hurt the pain. How this map feels right now. Hulzerk is up close. JT spotting. Vision obscured, but he's going to tap on the edge of the smoke just to check it out. Deep smoke as well. Hulzerk wants to assert control, and with the MP9, he's managed it.
Oh, this is a horrible fight.
But you feel like you need to take these risks with Floppy so low with the lack of utility. You need to slow MIBR down, force them somewhere else.
Yeah, I just want him to leave now because you've shown that you're there. Re-smoke and then back off. That's exactly what he's doing. Never mind, he's still by the smoke. This is now scary because if he gets overwhelmed, MIBR can just go A, but he might have done enough with the util.
He's also the early warning system, so they can reinforce other parts of the map. If he falls, there's time to rotate with the change to the map. Floppy, yeah, never going to get anything done there. Spammed out before he can even see a player. And Elige has to step forward again, and he's looking for the fight. First is his, bit of damage, spots out the bomb. JT gonna win out. Here's a double up in middle. JT again doing everything for Complexity. And there's no time, so he will live to fight another day. Hulzerk is actually pushing with this MP9, and if he can find a kill, get himself an AK, at least confirm this round is Complexity's.
Yeah, well done. It's both the Johns now for Complexity doing it. 2 rounds in a row. forcing that save out of MIBR, leaving them vulnerable, and also not allowing MIBR to feel comfortable in this map control. Something that they were doing quite effectively towards the back end of Ancient. Just taking these fights, being confident, that is audacious for JT. The fact he's so out in the open, he's able to adjust in time. MIBR just weren't ready.
JT's an audacious kind of guy. Impact frags galore.
But is it enough? Look at the kills. JT's at the top. And Grim, where he was so good on Ancient, quiet as anything on Vertigo.
Flashbang doesn't quite work out for Holzek. Very eager to take these long-range engagements versus the AK. And this is just hero AKs. One removed. The second dropped by Holzek. That's a 4K.5. Sharp shooting with the M4. He wants the full house. And he spotted out the player that could deliver it. Holzek gets himself an ace.
Yeah, important for Holzek. Doesn't even need the AWP. Shows that he can do it on the rifles. And again, proactive pushing. Complexity getting in the face of MIBR. Not allowing them to set up. Sure, it's a weak buy. It's the hero AKs, but the AKs find nothing.
And a confidence booster for Holzek, who also, alongside Grim, have been struggling to get going in this map. But a nice little 5K, that'll do it. And they were good shots too. Flick to the head. Give him that confidence. That's 2 aces for Complexity so far in this series.
Oh, JT. Ridiculous. He has been phenomenal all series long, but it might not matter if Floppy drops here. That nade. Oh, he skirts around the edge of it, and again, drop. Removes him with util.
He was caught between a drop and a hard place.
Nice. Insani Grim. That's now the next fight. Insani, his mid lurks haven't been active. Whenever he's actually been ready to go, he's been left. Instead, he's now going to be joined up with. This double swing on Grim could completely unsettle Complexity in their defense.
Oh, Grim has been on struggle street. He's going to fall back as they come, and that adjustment is enough. Spots out the second.
Don't swing. Don't need to.
HG, he swings. Oh, yes, he does. Elite helps him out, but it's Grim locking down mid.
Yeah, good. He waited for that extra second to get Elige in play with him, and then suddenly it's a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-2. The MIBR are not ready for that additional player. These are confidence-building rounds, and these are rounds that Complexity are taking the game to MIBR. It isn't anything particularly techie when it comes to the strats. It is just duels.
And they're winning them. Slow starters are Complexity, but they've brought this within one. And for MIBR, they're put onto pistols. We could be all tied up in a matter of moments.
This happened last time. This happened last time on Ancient. A really good recovery in the first instance, and then it all fell apart.
Floppy needs to hold. But he has Elite and Grim in mid, who are double-layered and can support very quickly. Elite is already going to abandon mid, support Floppy, who's fully blind, spraying wildly, and he's actually ignored. Pulls out the USP. How is he still alive?
What is happening? He's still there. He's still afloat.
He gets away.
This is a joke.
Elite is the one that falls.
And now Grim can step in, and Floppy is finding the kills. Between them, they collect everyone.
What? There's no stopping the flop there. Fully blinded, doesn't matter. Finds his way out of there with a couple of kills to boot. I don't know how. When you saw his position in the open behind double, fully blinded, all these T's charging at him, he's completely ignored and gets away.
Well, MIBR were also blinded by that flash, so they're not actually considering Floppy behind them. And when he's ringing out shots with the silence USP, they don't clear him.
All tied up. Big round. Complexity building a bank. MIBR starting to lose that momentum that's sustained them so long through this series. Renson forward, Brenson and Exit get the double, but Grim steps in. It's an explosion on ramp, and there's still a leash. Never revealed his position, but he's going to be checked, and Safe adjusts. Floppy rotates, but it's a 1v3. The bomb spotted on Safe. Floppy trying to make the play, pushing through the smoke. Sitting in it. Wanting to see if he can catch someone off guard, but you imagine MIBR with 3 players. Just need to play this together. Insani is going to scout out B. Floppy lets them know he's on A. So Insani scales forward, gets the site, and they can rotate back to B. Insani just confirms it.
Finally that mid lurk from MIBR, and that's only to lock in the round. Here, it's just a brawl up A. It's MIBR that wipe the smokes away, not Complexity. That's the difference. They're ready for the fight first, and Complexity aren't. Really good flashbangs to get Brenton and Exit up ramp, and then the safe pair of hands to check for gap to make sure Elige can't get up to his old tricks.
Back in the lead, but Complexity, still plenty of cash. The AWP misses the chance.
This is it, though. This is the round. They need to win this. Otherwise, their buy coming into this against Series Point is going to be horrible.
Holzak so keen for a fight, looking everywhere for it. Might be given if he sticks around, and this is the guy that loves to hang about. But Exit's pushing the issue. Holzak's begging for it. Looking for anyone he can click that sniper scope on. It's a boost from Grim. In all of the chaos he's assembled up high.
Drops Holden.
Oh, drops on it. Drops on it. Spam. Oh, almost looked good. A bit of damage on the JT. The opening kill goes the way of MIBR.
And now the variance might be for Insani to push mid a little bit further. Floppy might give him the fight instead. He's just holding, and that means a third player can go A.
Yeah, Insani is in charge of this entire side of the map, so he can't, Floppy, so he can't get any further aggressive. We wonder, is Insani going to be the one? No, it's the lead! Oh, we didn't see it, but he sees all of them.
I think that's the lineup. He's seen one player on ramp, and he has sprayed them all down. And you got to call him Johnny Sins, because he is screwing MIBR.
Show us that one back.
Back shots on ramp through the tarpaulin. What a sick, twisted joke of a quad kill for Elige. He doesn't know anything about it. It's because Drop is thorough. Drop considers the boost. The spam doesn't connect, and then Elige, well, his spam, it does.
It Brenton, and oh, that's just so unfair. A magical moment. Puts us 11-11. Complexity granted the wish, denying MIBR that series point. And MIBR got a Galil into this one. Utility's going to be lacking.
But they've got the loss bonus. So this is why it's different. This is why Complexity needed to win that round. Because if they had lost, they have no money. But because they've won it, it's still okay. And now they've got a little bit of reserve in the bank balance.
Flashes the scale-up ramp, quickly being thrown from the stairs. Holzer can't get involved. Good damage, though, to Hey Cheese. But the bullets from Brenton get the opener.
He's 7 HP and he's found the first kill. How's that happened? Further Util comes into support. Horzak is still gagging for this fight over at Gap, and Grim tries to exploit the new angles over at Catwalk, but Exit is holding for it. Exit is accounting for it.
Oh, he's not jiggling that specific spot, though. So if Grim catches the right timing and is fast on the trigger, could best him.
Look at the rotate. They're all over at A right now because Floppy is dropped.
All the T's are over there, too. Insani isn't active on that mid-lurk this time. He's joined the pack, has felt impotent in the last few rounds, wants to be involved in the action. So he's here. MIBR paused, but Complexity aren't going to be too worried. The only gap was middle, which Elige has a look, sees no one's lurking. Has to be this A commit.
Disciplines everything from Floppy here. Very much like he played it in the previous in mid. He's letting the riflers work.
They start to make their moves. Utility out forward. Grim can feel this presence at ramp, waiting for the moment to strike. Starts to jiggle more heavily. And off the back of exit pre-firing, he swings a lead, drops the exit. It's on to Holzerk, who hits 2 incredible shots. Floppy's lurk gets one as well. Drop is low behind default. And Floppy, he could be the man that ends this here. Nice shot from Floppy. But Insani, in sandbags, completely undetected. They have no idea. And he plays the trick discipline. Doesn't reveal himself. The spray doesn't do the job, and Holzerk does. Complexity to map point.
Yeah, that's Insani really waiting to try and get Holzerk involved so he can spray down both of them. But when Floppy disappears in the smoke, he has to be pixel perfect. He has to hit every single bullet, and he can't do it. Complexity had that round locked in from the very beginning because of the immediate adjustment of Floppy pushing, because for the last couple of rounds, MIBR have not been putting pressure over at mid, over at B. It's all been A.
And this is all Holzerk as well. Exi gets the 2 kills that give them the way in, but Holzerk stays in gap, gets one onto ramp, falls back, gets the one on site. Keeps the Wolves at bay.
It's such a similar round to where Drop got that 3K with that extra player in gap.
Yeah, very fast moves in towards middle though. Insani has crept all the way under and is going to be spotted by a leash. The trade is instant. But now you've seen 2 players getting very aggro in mid. A smoke dropped. The pressure falls onto Floppy.
Here we go.
He can feel that split. They slowly crawl up the ramp and he has no information on it. He might just get blindsided, or they might get blindsided, but Brenson adjusts, half blind. Grim steps in, safe, into a 2-on-2 exit, still in middle. Still this threat, and they have to deal with him. Holzerk's gonna come over the try and find him, and they do. It's all on to safe. This is the man that clutched MIBR through the series yesterday. When they were on the brink of elimination, now he's the one that can send us to overtime. The swing and the miss. Complexity will take Vertigo.
Yeah, and they don't need overtime against MIBR. They needed it against Mouse. And Complexity show that this map pick this time isn't to their detriment. They force that decider. Anubis is waiting in the wings. And at the end of that, one of these 2 teams goes to the semi-finals and one of them has to exit the competition. Be a team collective effort to get them through on Anubis for one of these teams to make playoffs.
Insani actually the 2nd lowest performer on the team for MIBR so far in the series. And a split into a stacked bomb site. Aggression, but Save has dismantled them in main. An absurd 3K with the P250. And just like that, MIBR have suffocated and silenced this pistol round.
Well then, that's one way to get the T-side pistol round. Safe go get a triple. That was utter destruction. And he's not normally the player you look on for pistols at MIBR. On Vertigo, it was Exit. On Ancient, it was Brenson. Again, this narrative, every single player is stepping up when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, Safe's a pretty damn good pistol player. We've seen all these rounds where he's just had a pistol instead of a primary and can still somehow get those kills. This guy's got that good left click, as you imagine most AWPers are. All you need to do is aim and click, which Floppy does. As he looks just to save his dual Berettas and armor, drops the smoke. And he might be given that. Insani gets around this corner quickly, but no. So Floppy will take those over, but it's really not a lot. That was an absolute destruction.
And it was over before it even really began.
Yeah, the split wasn't even needed at that point.
Look at this.
Tap, tap, tap. I think the body shots came through from a supporting player, but the PT50, an extra upgrade, enough to get it done. So it's a forced investment. Floppy gets the FAMAS. Surprised he didn't drop the dualies to Holzerk, actually. But as for the scout, he's not going to be very close to anybody anyway.
No mucking about either from MIBR. Bren's the only one with a Mac 10. Everyone else has got AKs.
Yeah, Safe's not going to be rocking that PT50 only or anything absurd. No chances taken. Floppy getting proactive ahead of the smoke drop by the T's. Knows that he's got the strongest weapon in this round. If they don't go to A, could be for naught.
We saw these mid-fights against the Lions yesterday. That was the tug of war of map control between those 2 teams. And MIBR immediately in round 2, they lay down utility and now they reset mid. But it's a collective effort. It isn't just one player just gathering the space. Everyone is here for MIBR bar Insani. Or should I say drop?
Grim is having a little looky. Slips into Nico. They're already crossed past. And almost an opportunity. Can't adjust onto Insani. So that's going to be the go. They smoke off Temple. They're going to progress into this stack on Ace. There's still a chance for damage, but not if Insani is hitting shots like that. Also, doesn't even get to fire the Scout Elite. Slides through for one. Floppy decides to take the space outside of main. See if he can cut off a player. And at this stage, finding drop would be at least something. It's a rifle to be picked up, or maybe not. Floppy keeps it even. He'll just be running away to save again. All his action has been exit frags.
I think what's really interesting is the way MIBR always play these rounds when they go for mid to A splits, and it is very much the case that they put all of the reinforcements in mid, and then Drop does a lot of the dirty work behind the scenes. He's the one that sets them up with util. He's the one that mollies off camera, for instance, to give them space in the first place. He's then the one that holds these really deep flanks to make sure that Complexity can't rotate over. And he was doing that to full effect against Alliance yesterday. So that's what you got to expect. That's what you got to account for if you're Complexity. If you see multiple players in mid, there's always going to be Drop at rugs.
Great to see such a strong crowd out for these games today on Saturday. We'll see which team goes through to that semi-final tomorrow, where Aurora lies in wait. We've still got more action coming up later. Mongols versus Falcons is going to be a blockbuster. Not that this one hasn't by any measure. Certainly delivering. So save Galil. A couple of pistols around it. This one weaker than the previous. But this time Floppy is going to start B with that rifle. And a flash peek. JT is the one that gets the kill. Nice shot with the Desert Eagle. And Sani looks to try and get some presence back in towards middle. Elise is here. He has armor behind the dualies, but it needs to be perfect. And Insani clears, adjusts, and devastates. And I think you would have seen, perhaps on that swing, that Floppy was on the B side. And an A split can be put forward.
Yeah, if MIBR have done their homework, which you imagine they have done, you know that Floppy is the A anchor for this team. And if you've heard the Galil rattle off, you know it's going to be him over there. So that's why MIBR just reset. They get the kills of Insani. He can now be that consistent threat in towards the middle of the map. JT and Floppy can go clearing, but that's going to be the early warning system for MIBR. And to be honest, they might not even need the early warning. Insani cleans house, and MIBR keep the slate clean.
Yeah, nice easy ace against some mostly ecoed players, but he'll be happy to have collected that after a quiet series so far. Adding to the ace tally of this game. One for MIBR's books. You don't want to see an Insani that's on fire. Simple as you like. Great control with the spray. Safe gets the AWP out. Holzberg has his. Complexity finally get a full buy.
We just need them to respond. And there it comes. Through middle with a lead. On the hitman of Insani. A prize scalp to take. I'm still looking at A. I'm still really interested in these fights between Drop and Floppy because it carries over from Vertigo because they play the same roles. So it's consistently going to be that head-to-head.
JT trying to respond to the presence. Oh, very fast in. He runs out of bullets, but exit bails. Just trying to get tricky with it behind the Molotov. Putting that pressure on early, but that's not going to be their final destination. They do want to give A shot. Now, Holzek is present here with Floppy. And with the time ticking, yeah, he's going to drop that smoke. Going to cut the seconds down further.
They've never gone B, MIBR. So this is why Complexity have got this lean over. And again, they don't see anything. They'll hear this smoke, and now everyone can be here. 4 players lie in wait. A break on the smoke, but Floppy's ready, and he's collecting heads. 2 for him. Holzek back on the follow-up. It's a rebound from Cole. They answer immediately.
There's the flop arriving. No exit frags this round. He's the ones that sends MIBR out of it. Now, Complexity can't really send too much on the hunt. They might give it a bit of a look in. Can't offer up too many kills to save. Only just got these rifles, but they make them work.
And it's simple, really. It's the Liege getting the kill in towards mid. MIBR are putting no pressure, not even in towards dark. Nothing being made, no util being dropped. And it's too easy for Complexity just to suss out that it's going to be this A hit. A well-timed procedure on the smoke. Even when it gets wiped by MIBR, Floppy's ahead of it on the off angle. And Hulzerk's there just to back up his buddy. That round's actually really easy for Complexity. MIBR, normally they've been making these rounds costly, they've been making them challenging. That one felt like a walk in the park.
Running on it, yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
this one's going to be harder.
That's middle in a nutshell. And Insani very quick to capitalize on this space. He's got them sweating. Two players have to respond to this pressure being piled on. So very early on, Insani is going to draw numbers here. And then MIBR can decide how they want to finish.
And it is going to be that mid fight that I'm going to be keeping my eye on quite a lot in this map. Even though I've already spoken about the drop and floppy one, it's still the Allegiant Insani bout in mid. Because the game plan for MIBR, every single T round will be trying to get Insani further forward. He sprays floppy, but he will at least get traded by exit. That's further information to Complexity. That means that JT has to remain in mid. And suddenly Grim is left alone on B. But only for a moment. 40 seconds left. MIBR are going to reset into this area. And there's two players here.
Yeah, no util to support though. Rotation will come from Hulzerk, so all three CTs will arrive. The drop charges in, gets the first kill, gets the second kill before he's traded. Clean entries from Dark. Hulzerk doesn't even get a chance to get involved.
That's ridiculous. To be quite frank, I'm speechless because it felt like Complexity had the entire read on the situation. 40 seconds left. MIBR going to the bomb site that is reinforced by JT, who's actually just reset off middle, makes the call that they're not going to come that way, and then they don't. They drop down through window and they go underground. But drop with those two massive entries. The fact that Complexity don't get a trade there is sickening.
Lack of any defensive util. There's nothing to stop drop on his warpath as he charges up.
It's because of the setup. Their crossfire is so deep that they think they can just win out the fights.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be difficult against the T side that's just running at you. The wide swings, maybe not as strong as they were 6 months ago, certainly still going to be favored in those fights, especially scaling out drop where you've got that kind of layered stare where you slowly scale up. It's like there's an easy headshot angle to hold on to.
It's because they dropped that molly in the first place that they're always going to clear the angle that that Grim was in. Even though Grim was never playing over towards Glyph. He is this time. Forced by put forward for Complexity. Hulzerk is on the AWP. He had saved it over in the previous exit. Takes a lot of damage on the molly, but they're just disrespecting it. JT bombarded out of the server, and now Allegiant Grim have to put up some form of resistance.
Elise is rotated. He's putting the pressure on. Save catches Floppy on the push. They don't need to commit to B. And MIBR can afford to pause. It's a 5-on-3, and all of the CTs are on B.
Yeah, I mean, Drop can just take that risk. He can just force the issue, or Exit can hold for them swinging. Elige will trade, but that gives confirmation that A is open.
Yeah, okay, Drop finally activates. I was thinking, why is this guy not moving? Hulzerk's still the question mark, who has been starting on A a lot, to be fair. But now that he's walked in, they're going to throw some util on B just to keep the players here so they don't rotate before the bomb gets there in time, but... yeah, this one's MIBR's. Elige is going to move in towards CT. So he'll be kind of close as the bomb gets planted, but you don't fancy he's going to really get involved to see if someone overextends and then maybe there's a way in. And MIBR aren't going to make that mistake.
No, they're not. And Complexity shouldn't make the mistake by even going for the retake in the first place. It needs to be a save. It needs to be a Hulzerk once again, holding on to his AWP. I don't even know if he's fired it yet since investing. This defense has been a disaster, and it's a real stark contrast to what we were seeing on Vertigo. And it is because MIBR are yet again dictating all of the pace. Safe is being allowed to pick and choose his fights. That's why he's not died.
Yeah, this guy's 8 for 0.
I know Anubis is a T-sided map. I understand that, but it was Complexity who we used to praise at the start of CS2. When Anubis first came in the rotations, they were the innovators. They were the ones that weren't just pushing B main as some sort of fail-safe reaction. They were the ones pushing mid. They were the ones going out A with these smokes over towards the stairs. They created all of it. And now they need to reinvent the wheel here on their deciding map. They need to get all their defense in a line, and they need to be more cohesive, because otherwise MIBR, they've got a real shot at running away with this decider. And that is not what Complexity deserve. That is not the justice they will get out of this series.
Yeah, it's that hard-fought comeback on Vertigo. For it to crumble on Anubis would be heartbreaking. Hulzerk's AWP, that one weapon saved over, lets them know where he is. So now they can put a bit more pressure on A. The smoke dropped deep, so not going to deter them one bit. However, Hulzerk has rotated. That's a flashbang if he wants to set up a play, but he's just going to walk in. Maybe double layup with Floppy. A scope up now. What's that heard? Probably far enough away that it wasn't. This fight determines the round, and Safe wins it. Picked up by Floppy, who extracts the AWP. He's still going to get past it. And Molotov good to flush out one of these defenders. They can just brute force their way in, yeah. Even if Floppy hit the shot, he would have been overwhelmed. Elise tries his best. But the bodies of MIBR run them over.
I'll be honest, look, you can draw a lot of parallels here between the CT side of Complexity on Ancient and the CT side of Complexity on Anubis. They are giving MIBR so much room. I'm not just talking about this round because it's pistols, it's AWPs. In the gun rounds, they are not fighting for control. And when they are, it's individual efforts. They're not setting each other up with utility. They're not deciding, hey, we want to take this area of the map. It's none of that. And MIBR are even being caretakers. If there's going to be flanks in from Complexity and they are able to get some kills, or if they run in after the bomb explodes, they can't even recover any of these rifles.
Crazy that Safe still not died when he's won 3 opening duels. So it's not like he's just sitting back playing passive. He's very involved.
But he's being set up. And that's your difference. MIBR's utility are setting them up for success. Complexity are using their utility reactively instead of proactively. And what was the way that they were winning CT side rounds on Vertigo? They were the ones taking the fights. They were the ones setting themselves up. And this is a complete difference. You're playing to survive. You're not playing to win. And what was the criticism on Ancient? They only got 2 rounds on that defense. And if they had a few more, this could have been 2-0.
Yeah, definitely need more than 2 here. The one that they got was due to the time, right? It was with the delaying smoke and MIBR having to force the issue through it, where Floppy just sprayed them down as they tried enter. That was more kind of falling at their own mismanagement of the time, not finding an opening somewhere. But outside of that, it's been blemish-free. And none of these rounds have been close either, which is a little concerning. At least if they came down to the wire, Complexity might be feeling they had some chances. Not seeing too much aggression either. We've seen the stairs smoke thrown a few times. Here it comes again. That's 2 rounds in a row. Nothing behind it. You imagine that's trying to set the conditioning for later on, but this time MIBR are just hitting into B. And JT holds for one. Grim steps through, spraying, can't convert. But good damage done. The rotations arrive. The smoke is not blocking off Temple, so Hulzerk gets a line to fire off, but the flames keep him at bay. And Grim still stays alive. That smoke bailing him out, and then some. Holding onto this B bomb site. They cannot find Grim. And he's getting every single one of them. Exit runs out of ammo and Grim holds it down.
And to be honest, that smoke might have forced MIBR in to be a bit earlier than they were hoping for, which means they go straight into this crossfire. But from there, that's a really sloppy round from MIBR because they completely lose focus as soon as that flashbang is thrown from him when he gets smoked off. And the reason why you throw this flash normally is to disengage, is to retreat in towards Temple, in towards CT. Instead, he hangs around.
I don't know where that smoke came from. Molotov actually not going to affect this boost. That's kind of crazy.
I've not even seen this boost before. In the double doors creates a cool off angle, and thankfully, they aren't upset by that molly.
Yeah, and luckily for them, no one is actually pressing forward in middle. Zani, not part of it this time. So they might start to make their move now.
Are they still on the boost?
Yeah, they got this boost in play and disassembled by the flashbang.
Interesting use of the nade there. They don't break the smoke. They don't take the fight. They're just using to delay. They're trying to put more chip damage on MIBR before they commit to the swings, and JT comes at a cost. Exit has pushed dark. And now your rotations from mid need to Scarpa. Keep your eye on Elige. He's pushed mid.
Oh,
he's dropped the bomb.
Safe. Hits the deck. Now they have to go back and collect it, and Elige is just repositioned. He's looking for that lurk. Elige is doing everything in this round, and he's still going to get past Grim and Floppy. And Grim steps in for one. Floppy with the double. Drop has to do everything. That's the first kill. Now we're seeing Drop pull out some miracles for MIBR so far. The bomb is in his grasp. Spots out the first, and Holzek there for the kill. Complexity 2 in a row.
These crossfires on B have been fantastic. Entry path from MIBR has not been on this site. And we've not really seen them going towards B. It's been really A-centric. It's been trying to overwhelm Floppy in that area of the map with Insani scaling mid. This time, Elige takes that risk because Complexity need rounds in this first half. The fact that he pushes, the fact that he knocks the bomb off, it doesn't matter that he then doesn't hold it. Because the entire idea is to cause disorientation, because then it can mean your B players get set up in that crossfire in the first place. And you can see how effective it was with Grim and Floppy. MIBR not ready. MIBR a little bit lost in the sauce because of that push from Elige.
Yeah, much better mid-rounding from Complexity. They don't just let MIBR do what they want. And that was with the opening kill going the way of Exit. That's an absurd shot from Elige. Just saw that back in the replay. It's just a tap at long range onto the Orpha, who's in motion with the bomb. And now MIBR are on the full eco, so a chance for Complexity to really get this going.
And this is what they needed, this break in momentum, this round that comes to a standstill. And Floppy blows Insani out of the waters. You get 4, you get 5 rounds here on your CT side of Anubis. Suddenly, your narrative changes if you're Complexity.
It's good to see Floppy having a good map after a rough couple going into this.
I think despite his scoreline, his Vertigo is really solid. I feel like that will get overlooked by a lot of people. JT gets dinked, but Grim is there. And Hayes said something to me in the green room. He said, watch out for Grim, because he's always there. He's always present for Complexity. And just being involved in every single one of these rounds where the double setup has been established. He's been getting his kill. He's been doing his job. And here just bails JT out. Another re-smoke here. MIBR would have to push through the grey screen.
Yeah, Grim should be fine to lock it down if they do. And if they can get away with this, not losing a player, that will feel very good. Grim wouldn't mind a few more eco frags. And Elige is here. A lot of dinks. Grim's USP, in fact, the one that does it. So it is Grim that collects them all. Another quad kill for him. 8 of his kills coming in 2 rounds, and he'll be very happy.
Yeah, he's fine. It's what they needed as well, just a little bit more confidence for Complexity. Winning these rounds cleanly, not allowing MIBR to get the bomb down. Sets them up to potentially even close the half at an equilibrium.
That would be massive on the CT side.
This is already looking good.
Yeah.
You add a fifth, it's fine.
5 is great. Honestly, you're happy with that. Although Complexity's pistol rounds have been a struggle.
Yes, but MIBR on this CT side, it's not been pleasant viewing recently. Holzerk pushes the issue. They're taking the fight.
Yeah, finally, a bit of initiative. Holzerk has felt a bit left out in some of these rounds, I feel. Often having to be the rotator. Oh, JT tries to slip into the smoke. Grim's there to support him. MIBR going for individual fights, and they are not winning them until Brenzen gets one. But again, Complexity's layering. Superb.
He's been so quiet this map, Brenzen. Not stepping in, not delivering. And here, again, from Grim, he's been trying to bail out.
There we go.
JT, but Insani is always the X factor. A 2-on-2. Holzerk is here with the AWP, but this feels uncomfy.
Oh, incredibly uncomfortable.
Have they heard Floppy?
Well, they're aware that he's pushed before. Insani gets this kill. The round is maybe done. Insani, all on his lonesome, offers up a double headshot on those two players swinging from dark. Holzerk will peek, and if he hits this shot, that was the way in. Give it another chance, though. Brought low, and it's safe on the other side. Who, again, we've mentioned so many times, his skill in these clutches. Holzerk just charging, barreling, and he even gets the dink, but the dualies aren't enough to get it done. Safe clutches, but that round is Insani.
Yeah, that round is stolen and robbed by Insani. About to go on a monologue about how Complexity are using Grim as this bailout factor, how he's been so essential in trading out these kills in dark. And look what happens there. He's actually fallen by the B main player. Brendan's able to find him, and then suddenly Insani just unlocks the door, and they don't even go B.
That's Insani, who's having one of those maps.
I think it's wild to me how Insani is a lurk a lot in T side, and he still puts up these numbers.
Cole get aggressive outside of B main. Insani looks to see if they extend further. He has a lot of responsibility. But if they just hit into A, Floppy is on his lonesome. And HE does a little bit on to drop. And yet still Complexity.
It's double AWP.
Yeah, Liege. Looking for Insani in middle, but he's playing a nice little angle in the window, and it's going to be heard. Floppy gets one. Holzerk, just the grazing blow. Not the kill he was hoping for, but now a Liege gets a chance, and a Liege finishes the job. And now you have those double snipers to get past. Holzerk's flick connects. But Insani, again, Insani, a double up to put it back into evens. And he's teasing JT, letting him know, yeah, come for the fight. I want to take it. Holzerk brought low as well by exit. But Holzerk wins it out, and it's all onto Insani. He can't get it done. JT delivers, and it's a 2-round game.
Complexity are on a 4-map winning streak on Anubis, leaving Eternal Fire, Na'Vi, and Heroic in their wake as they look to add MIBR to the tally, and that is a good start, but it might be a crunching effort from MIBR as they look to push A, but it might be too late. Elige is destroying them on the P250. It's deja vu on the T side.
Yeah, Seifu. Elige gets the double, and finally Complexity get themselves a pistol round. They have been lacking them in this series, and just generally it's been a struggle.
Yeah, they've got a third of them now. 2 out of 6.
Something. And this one, maybe the most important. Get this T side rolling. Exit on the exits. Complexity will make it a 1-round game in a moment. MIBR have been want to force. We've seen them a few times go into it. If exit keeps the armor, you imagine definitely will want to. They're actually hunting. So Horzek will take him down. Good start.
And the last time they got that pistol in this series, it was when they started that comeback on Ancient. It was when they went from 10-2 down to 10-8. So this already feels a lot better. Only a 1-round game. MIBR, if they force into this, you're potentially giving a lot of leeway over to Complexity for them to build on this T side. It wouldn't surprise me if they ecoed.
Yeah, it might be we talk about kind of how great Insani has been, but it's really just been him and Safe for the most part on this map. The other 3, Drop had that one moment where he entered into Dark. But outside of that, I mean, Exit 2 of his kills were just the kills in that round. Been relying on the individuals, whereas Complexity, it feels like a few more cylinders are online.
Yeah, JT's done his work in the first 2 maps, and now Grim is stepping up. Floppy's having a really good game, and Grim, this is scary. This is solo mid. The good news is, everyone for Complexity is just in A. Grim actually removes himself. He doesn't give over an AK.
Yeah, don't lose the heavy weapons. Let's keep a hold on those. Get a few kills with them, that'll do. Tied up in a moment.
Yeah, just walk it in. And this guy's future-proof as well. Only 1 Mac 10 for JT. Doesn't get involved and finds the kill. Instead, it's just all of the rifles. Nice shot from Brendan, but that's all it will amount to be. We've got a tied game.
Yeah, 1 rifle removed. JT don't think he has time to pick that up. So it's slightly costly, but ultimately they're happy. Galil out the mix. No biggie. Not nice Galils anyway.
You prefer him over Famuses?
Yeah, more bullets at least.
This is going to be aggressive. Safe setting up that beef pop flash. Oh, and Grim gets flashed twice, but now he knows, hey, they've got the space at B. We need to go elsewhere.
Yeah, and they're taking space on A. They start to walk into main. Now, there are 2 players here. Mid was completely left open. Exit holding a very fine line, and Insani is able to swing off the contact. In fact, Insani's going to come around. He's going to be needed. First kill is his, and steps up for the multi. Oh, no one can stop Insani. The 1-man army from MIBR. JT can't even recover the bomb. This round hinges on Grim. What can he get done? A kill is good. And the trade not doable. JT needs to be careful. Needs to stay alive to let Grim work.
It's going to be tough. He needs to find this kill right here, right now. That flash is brilliant. And it sets Brendan up, and it's him again. It's Insani that sets up the play. And suddenly, with 45 seconds left, the in-game leader looks on in despair because that round completely crumbles. Horzek found the entry. They knew that they were out B. That was such a good timing. The Complexity could have hit. And I tell you how it falls apart. It's because as soon as Horzek gets that contact, they don't throw any utility. It is not together. It is disjointed.
Yeah, it's that lack of trade spacing that's the problem because it's just Insani and he's in the open. So all he needs need to do was swing in tandem
Not
and get
even
the
that.
trade.
They didn't need one flash.
Anything. There were so many different ways, but it's very individual. And Ansani, credit to him, repositions after each kill, makes it harder, makes them need to swing more. We'll see it back as he moves further to the right, making those trades all the more difficult.
I stand corrected. There were flashes, but it was late. And we've seen that a few times in this series where it feels like Complexity are ready to go and then something is delayed. Or the players swing early. It feels like they got a little bit eager after Horza got that opening. Here's the space now being taken by MIBR early elsewhere.
Yeah, and Complexity out the gate wanted to go towards A. They had this massive rugs presence. What? You could spam that?
Excuse me?
What? I had no idea.
Well, now everyone knows.
Floppy's like, what? How'd that happen? That's ridiculous. A dink into rugs.
This feels really uncomfortable now, especially with this re-smoke. And this is what MIBR were doing against Alliance yesterday. For Complexity, you're playing behind them. You've got no info. You don't know about rugs because you're not there. You only know about B. You don't know about mid. Space needs to be taken. Space needs to be claimed here by a Liege.
Yeah, they're kind of hoping that the re-smoke wouldn't come and that they'd be able to just slowly take back that control, but instead they've been funneled towards the B side. Now, the good news is there's only 2 defenders here because despite having all this control, they didn't have mid. And so they're actually going to reinforce the wrong bomb site. Drop has the util. You think the smoke needs to come any moment. There's only 30 seconds left. He can deny an avenue, but instead they're going to burst through. Brenson, good kill. Drop on the follow-up. And there's the flames. Another set lands forth, slowing them down, allowing the rotation.
It's done. You can't get in here. It relies a lot on Floppy just running through Temple and trying to be that outlet, and you can't. There's no time, or is there? Because Ali just found another kill, but Floppy dying in mid puts the cherry on top and ties this all in a nice little bow for MIBR. No time for Complexity.
Yeah, Liege might get the kill, but without that bomb on his back, no way to plant it. Great hold on B, despite not dropping that smoke at the right time. You know, they have to rely on fighting. Playing behind Obelisk is perfect. But the round is all set up by that control they get early. They completely deny all of Canals.
But because they deny all of Canals, that's why Floppy's play in mid is so late. Because they don't know what the control is going to look like.
2 rough rounds for Complexity. Now you got a Liege with the hero rifle. You got Glocks on the rest. A P250 at least for Floppy. This is a Liege's round and a Liege's round only. He's going to walk towards Dark and he's gone. Sure, you pick up the AK, but you got no armor. Double digits looking to be locked in by MIBR.
Do you know what's brutal about this? Is if you remove the HUD, if you remove the kill feed, and you played this game, this CT side would look like its Complexities, because that's what they do every game on Anubis, and MIBR are doing it right back to them. This is what I expected from Complexity. Instead, it was timid. Instead, it was passive. And now MIBR are just taking the fight right to them. JT can't get involved.
Yeah, it's the difference between playing to win and playing not to lose, right? That passivity that comes when you don't want to give up any critical kill that would allow MIBR just to run you over. And with the way Vertigo went, with how close it came down to the wire, it's had them a little bit sweaty. Now a 3-round lead for MIBR, which is how many they are away from locking in a fast entry into that semi. No one answered. Calling up somebody, a divine above, to help out Complexity.
Gotta go fast. Gotta try something different. I haven't seen any limit tests from Complexity either, and they've not been allowed to even execute onto a site or get set up because of how uncomfortable this defense has been.
And the further this gets away from them, when the margins become so small that if you lose a round or two, the game gets away from you, you become more afraid to do those limit tests, to do those fast rounds, to do those executes, because if you get it wrong, if you make that wrong call, that could be the game.
Well, the thing is, you can't even set up these limit tests in the first place because they cost a round to kind of get the information, right? Let's see how it goes. Could this be two North American teams getting knocked out and sent back home in Jönköping in back-to-back series?
Be a sad day for Eagles everywhere. And we expect Mike to continue his job. He'll be in tatters.
He'll get all of them in the lake.
He'll be in the lake with them.
It is complexity in the drink with two of them in towards Canals, trying to set up this dark play. Floppy this time waiting patiently. MIBR are playing a much more passive stance in middle, but keep your eyes potentially on Brendan because he'll go for an aggro play.
Yeah, Leash's approach has been very different to the way Insani was. Doesn't feel particularly active early on.
But it's because MIBR set their rounds up, their mid rounds around how much space Insani can create and how much he can generate in mid.
Splash. That's heard and calmed. Brendan's alone though, and he is going to be feeling the pressure in a moment.
Well, was it heard and calmed?
Yeah. Drop the flames, drop the smoke. Brendan needs help. I like this play though. Trying to be the hero, trying to get something done. A forward smoke. Has this little gap. The flashbang's good. The flashbang is great. Grim gets one. Floppy as well.
Fast flank. Fast flank. Keep your eye on Insani. He could win this still, or MIBR are just going to save.
Nah, with the money, yeah, they want more chances. They want this AK in his hands as well. Contain, though, do damage.
But here's one of these rounds. It isn't a limit test, but it's an execute onto a site, and they do it with numbers. They do it together, and that needs to be the philosophy. That's what we've been calling on all series. We know we've got these stars that can elevate and can punch above their weight, but it needs to be a team effort for either one of these teams to close.
It's surprising to me MIBR held that double mid, double A setup for so long with no information either towards A main or middle. They weren't really peeking into either of those positions. And the thing with that is, though, is that you've got very fast rotations between those two spots. Where you don't have fast rotations is B.
Yeah, but at the same time, the reason why they're doing that is because very much like they did on Ancient, they think that Complexity are going to adjust to what they've been doing over the last 3-4 rounds. They've been conditioning that they're going to be there. So by Complexity poking and prodding, maybe looking for clues in those areas where MIBR suddenly aren't there, that's what they're hoping these double setups are going to achieve. In fact, they achieve zilch.
Yeah, back to a more standard setup now. 3v. Sani giving Sol defensive mid, which is absolutely fine. JT with ears peeled. Lurk smoke, but safe on the other side. Sniff out anyone trying to sneak through.
They aren't going B with that lurk smoke. Let me tell you that for free. They might walk into it a little bit later in 30 seconds, but they're hoping this invites MIBR to get proactive.
Yeah, applying pressure equally, this time in middle as well. Deep smoke towards dark too. Letting them know they could come from any of these avenues.
It's going to be A.
Yeah, certainly feels it, doesn't it? 4 players get ready to group. Grim can come as the late lurk in middle. So again, they managed to pick the site with the least defenders.
Look at the util though.
And look at Insani. All the people you want here. Brendan's going to rotate too. Oh, almost caught. Exit gets the kill and the flames get dropped. Insani though, he hits the deck. And Exit, he's sweating behind the bomb side, trying to get something back. The USP almost does. Brendan able to step in. Keeping in this 3-on-3, and this fight in mid is everything. Grim wins it. And now he can set up to flank through, to fight onto Heaven if need be, where both Safe and Brendan line wait. The flashbang is there to set him up, and he finds success. Leaves it to Safe. 1 of the 3. And he has time. He has a kit. Waits to see if that extension comes through, if anyone wants to push on, but no. Leash happy in the back of sight. That incendiary is good on the JT. He actually swings off the back of it. Leash in the open gives Safe the chance, but JT is there to lock in the round.
Yeah, they nearly undo everything there. You can see Elise just like, I shouldn't have swung that. That's a big mistake. You could even call a pause here just to make sure you get 30 seconds to reset, because that Setup was perfect for Complexity, and even blanket of pressure across the map. As soon as you see that B lurk smoke comes in, that's the invitation for MIBR to get active. If they don't see anything off the back of it at B, you expect them to push B main, you expect them to push dark. They don't, and they get undone by lack of info.
Yeah, it's surprising after so many of those CT rounds they got in a row that trifecta was really based off early positional information where they were getting active. These last two have been a lot more passive from them. MIBR certainly fragging in the server right now.
What's scary is the way that Complexity approach A is very similar to the way Insani dispatched of them previously. It was, again, contact. The utility was layered this time, and they didn't progress round the pillar until the flashbangs were thrown. Every piece of utility was used as a design to set something up for Complexity. And suddenly, what they set up now is just safe on his own in mid. The spray can only find one, and that's the rifle remove. That should be the equalizer. That should be stabilization for Cole.
Yeah, it will be, for sure. It'll get picked up, but damage will be limited. Top's going to swing so that the rifle can then get set up, but it's an easy collection. So again, like Vertigo, we're going to be coming down to the wire between these two teams. Don't want it to get too costly. Shouldn't do now.
And now I quickly want to refer back to what we were talking about just a few rounds ago, where we said both of these teams need to be a little bit more even. Everyone needs to be providing. You take JT out the equation for Complexity, kill distribution, very similar. It's still Insani versus the world. Safe is here, but he hasn't had his AWP.
The Grimmer's quickly caught up to Insani as well, matching him now tit for tat. Floppy continuing to be that second man as well. There's always the promise of Complexity, not just a liege. 10 all. Elimination or semi-final on the line.
And I'll be real with you, there needs to be a spanner in the works thrown forward by MIBR. There needs to be a little bit more of a risk taken. There needs to be a little bit more of an assertive control at the start of this round to find them an opening, to find them around here, because this entire series has been streaky. This entire series has been built a lot off momentum. A Complexity, they currently have it.
Whole second safe. Looking to maybe clash horns again. Paul's like just going to walk into this line. Nice HE.
Need a flash.
There's no way. He's just going to peek into it.
Maybe he doesn't need
He
a
just
flash.
swings, and the liege goes fast into mid, beats out Insani. And they're just going to go fast off this. Put the pace on. The flames slow them down for a moment. Drop begins to push out, but Exit is the only one left, and he only gets one. Complexity steamroll their way into A.
And that's the variation, right? That's the acceleration change. That was it. What Insani was doing all T-side in mid, and a liege gives them a taste of their own medicine. And the fact that Halzerk just peeked, dry, no flash, Safe was on the line. Let's be real, Safe should have hit that shot.
Yeah, I think it's just that quick scope, right? He's just expecting Safe to be potentially there, expecting someone to kind of be jiggling or active in that position.
I think the thing is that nothing Complexity do is telegraphed on the entry, and it's catching MIBR so often. That first kill is now falling in favor to Complexity a lot in this second half, because they are being unpredictable about where they're finding the opening.
Uh-oh, Renzen.
Oh, please live.
He
Thank
does.
God.
Those two rifles will, I think, entice them to invest. That's now 4 in a row for Complexity. Now there's some smiles in the dials. Mike not too stressed about that lake just yet. And again, they want to give A a go. Halzerk and Floppy both get a kill apiece.
This is now 5 rounds, by the way, and Insani has gone without a kill.
They just tried to peek through the window and got destroyed. Now the stack might be going to the right place. Now all you need to do with your complexity is Elise just walk into A. Get the info, but no, he's going to group up. So there is a world. There is a way for MIBR to still win this round. Everyone is here. Smoke lands at main at the same time as they start to enter into the site. Safe on the first kill. Droppers exit as well. They've walked into the stack. Edis is charging pistol in the back of Holtec, and it doesn't matter because Elise is there.
How has that happened then? How has he done that? Elise steps up when complexity need him the most. And somehow, some way, MIBR fumble the bag because Holzerk has thrown himself into the lion's den to give that space to Elige to force series point. That is as dramatic as it gets.
I hope we get the comms back on that round because that must have been hectic. They go straight into the stack and every kill goes the way of MIBR. Elige charges through the flames to get those kills.
And if that is a round you can't convert, if you're MIBR, now you are sweating bullets. Because you need 2 in a row just for overtime. Not even the promise of potentially staying alive here. This is just continuation of that third map. And you're working with MP9s, you're working with a lack of util, you're working with a lack of confidence. How on earth did they not close that round?
I mean, just great opening kills. Complexity, the ones that almost fumble. There's a leech. It's a spray transfer of all things. Of course it is. Old reliable.
That might be the one that does everything for MIBR. Look at this play again. It's a change of acceleration for complexity. They are hitting A.
Yeah, Leash is feeling his old self now. Was humbled earlier. Starts to go fast. Grim onto exit. And Sani off the flashbang looks for the fight and he's bruised. Sent back, sees a lot of players. But complexity have the advantage. Coming into the side from every single angle and they get all the kills. Drop and Brenzen, the only things keeping MIBR in here, the reigning champions. Might not be making the semis because it's all on the Brenzen with an MP9 in his hands and he hits the deck at the hands of JT. Complexity eliminate MIBR.
Yeah, and that's the king of NA coming for the crown here at ESL Challenger. MIBR are dethroned currently in Jönköping and its semi-final berth for Complexity reforged in this series. They are alive and kicking, and now a semi-final setup with Aurora. They came here to win. They came